ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, known worldwide as simply the Mage One, and affectionately by all as the Father of Bear. He hails from Chevy Chase, Maryland, by way of the Upper West Side of Manhattan. The former and forever 24/7 champion, Peter Rosenberg. And now, hailing from 80s Jersey, New Jersey, where the Camaros roar and the Budweiser nips flow like the River Nile, Ramapo College grad and the original voice of the station. Give it up for Don the Cracker! And now, at 6'4", 228 pounds, from Fordham University in the Bronx, a multi-time Emmy winner, and not, nor will he ever be, a member of the Radio or Baseball Hall of Fame. Please welcome Michael Kay!
Well, what's up, everybody? Wow.
That feels good.
The K Show on Broadway, huh?
We made it.
How about that?
We made it.
Wow. First off, we have to thank, he came back all the way from Texas for this. He sang the song that he wrote, Joey Salvia. And if you're a Nick fan, you know the voice that introduced us. We were so happy that he made time for us today. Mike Walczewski, we know him as King Wally. There he is. Woo! And this is indeed the Michael Kay Show. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. We're going to have some fun to be pretty amazing. From 7 to 9, that's when everybody takes their clothes off, right?
Right, this is when we will do the show fully in the nude, which we know everyone's waiting for. Get your pizza ready.
Right.
To put pawn chest.
Pawn chest.
Pawn chest.
Pawn
That's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing, pawn
and,
chest.
and I know you're in a good mood today. You have a 1 point in the bag. My 3-pointer already gone.
Oh, so pathetic by you.
Really, a horrible...
Moving day, I like to call it.
No, I don't think it's moving day, but it was a horrible effort from the Packers, and it was a big mistake on my part.
What'd you expect?
I expected something else.
It's the turning point.
It is
You
the
said
turning
it
point.
yesterday. It's the turning point.
But you know what?
End.
I'm mentally not fearing it this time.
Really? Now, if I get a 3-pointer that clicks,
Even
then
though
I
I
gain
walk
3
through
points
the
on you.
valley of the shadow of death or whatever,
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
I have the staff and all the stuff that they said you have. I got it.
Yeah, they never had a chance, by the way. The Packers
they were
never
awful.
had a chance.
They were awful.
They were
From the
awful.
second I turned it on, it was bad.
But this is amazing. Look at all these people that are here to come celebrate the 20th anniversary. And I'm like Robert Saleh. I kept receipts.
There were a lot of people.
Oh, I kept receipts.
Yeah.
When I had
Tell us about him.
When I had I won't mention any names, but I sat because I don't remember his name, because that's how insignificant he was. There was an agent. I was looking for an agent, and I sat down with him. This is probably Peter, maybe 04, 05, just as the show had moved to afternoons, and I wanted to get an agent, and he told me, "You want my advice? Get off the Michael Kay show. It's never going to work. Wow. It's never going to happen.
Wow.
It's probably best that you go find something else to do. I can't market you on that show."
Wow.
Palladium, Full House, 20th anniversary.
Wow.
I did not sign him as an agent. And I
that-
know some of his clients, and he's working his tail off for very little money.
And that is that agent was Scott Boras.
Is that true?
People
Wow.
And he said, maybe it's time to move on away from sports radio into actual baseball. So that's the stuff I think about, Michael. Because when this whole thing started, man, it was a startup, seriously. And everybody thinks, well, it's ESPN, so ESPN's going to be big and it's going to work. But you're going up against a McGilla and WFAN. You've got so many people who don't believe, so many people who, quite frankly, didn't know what they were doing.
I do think that's a big part of the story, though. I think that everyone assumes ESPN is the behemoth, and it's not. So it's a very...
Not in radio.
Not in radio.
Right.
It's a very backward sort of story. Of course, it's the behemoth in sports television. But when it comes to radio and local radio, everyone out here knows who listens to local radio. You don't care about a big brand showing up in your market.
Right.
You care about good radio shows showing up in your market. So it's interesting because I'm sure people thought, oh, it must be easy. This has been a real... You guys really built something. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Well, the man who put the two of us together before Peter shoved his way in was Tim McCarthy.
But he shoved me in, too.
He did shove you in, but 13 years later. Tim McCarthy decided to pair us up.
Yes.
And he hired Don to be the first voice of the station. And then after I got off the Yankee radio, because once I was on Yankee radio, I couldn't be on then 1050 because it was different stations. But then the Yes Network happened. I got hired there, so my radio rights were up. And he thought I could be a talk show host. And he said, why don't you do, what was the first, 12 o'clock? Noon show?
No, the first show was 10 to 1.
You sure?
Wow,
Why would I not? Yeah, because you remember you did that whole song. I'll
Yeah,
never have to
but that
work
was
before
after
noon.
we started at noon.
No.
Okay, whatever.
It was 10, no, what do you want me to tell you? It's the truth. I have a better memory than you.
It started
The
10
show
to 1,
started 10 to
and
1.
then went to noon?
No, then eventually it went to 4 to 7. That was in 05. But on July 15th, 2002, we started 10 to 1.
Anyway, the thing that they did was because I was on the road with the Yankees is they wanted, Tim McCarthy sold me, well, let Don LaGreca be there in case the line drops.
Well, yeah. Well, what you're talking about is before they put us together.
Right.
Like Michael Kay does a show, and of course the way it works at this radio station, one person tells somebody something, and then somebody other tells you something different. So they tell Michael, don't worry about it. Don is just there in case the line drops.
Right.
Michael was just doing some shows on the side, and this is during the 01 season leading up to that, or 02 season leading up to that summer when they decided to give you the show, because the whole idea was you were going to be with McEnroe.
Right.
And they couldn't work out the contract with John McEnroe, so you were doing shows, and you were on location.
Mac and Kay.
Is that what it was going
That
to
was
be?
going to be, Mac and Kay.
And so they told you, Don's just there in case the line drops.
And
'Cause
that's,
this is
I
20
took
years
it
ago
literally.
And what'd they tell you?
that I'm co-hosting the show. So I'm sitting there waiting for Michael to introduce me. Never introduces me. I'm waiting for Michael. So what do you think, Don? Nothing. The whole day. Nothing. Didn't say a word to me. So I'm thinking, this piece of garbage. I hate him. First of all, he's the Yankee announcer. I can't stand him. And now I can't stand him because he's not talking to me. Meanwhile, Michael's thinking, Don's just there in case the line drops. Why should I talk to him? So somebody must get in his ear and say, Don's sitting there for however many hours it was, not doing anything. You should talk to him.
Well, this is really a proactive management.
Yeah,
here.
proactive. Yeah, so Michael figures I'll throw the guy a crumb. Michael's probably thinking in his head, I'll give this kid a thrill.
He didn't know he'd never get the mic back.
First thing he ever said to me on the air. So Don, heard you're a big hockey fan. Yeah, I'm a big hockey fan. Yeah, I've got harness racing above hockey.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the calls. 1-800-919. That was it.
We clicked right away.
That was, and then that was that whole day.
Oh, you're a horrible person.
But they never told me that what he was supposed to be.
So now, day 1, nothing. Day 2, harness racing over hockey.
Okay.
Day 3, so, Don, did you see that that ESPN movie with Brian Dennehy as Bobby Knight? From the book?
Yeah. Season on the brink.
I said, yeah, I thought it was terrible. He goes, ooh, look at you going after the company. Let's go back to the calls, 1-800-919. That was it. So then I went to management and said, this guy's
a piece of garbage.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
But
human
eventually
trash.
we figured out what we learned thank God, is that not mixed messages. That's going to happen sometimes, and it was miscommunication. So, and the only reason that I'm sitting to the right of Michael Kay is because when they finally put us together, I was just supposed to be the update guy. But Michael would bring me in, he'd bring Joey in, and that's how the show started. It would have never happened if Michael had an ego not wanting to talk to people. Once he trusted me, then I matured into being a co-host. There was never a moment where they said, okay, Don, you're now the co-host of the Michael Kay Show. It just happened organically. And that's why it happened because of him.
So you're saying in this specific...
That's right.
Thank you.
So wait,
Thank you.
So you're saying in this specific circumstance, yes, Michael Kay.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Not
Yes,
no Michael Kay. Not
yes,
no
Michael Kay.
Yeah, listen, when I gave that whole rant of the kids and the hair and being a good friend and a good driver, I never said anything about the Michael Kay Show.
Right.
I admitted that being on the Michael Kay Show was because of Michael Kay, but the idea that I can't do anything without the guy is absurd.
Yeah, you're a great driver.
It's
Fabulous
absolutely
driver.
absurd.
He's an
Good
absolute
friend.
great friend, too.
Tremendous hair.
Yeah. You have 2 kids.
Now, the first producer of the show is actually here.
Yes.
Rob Astorino. Might have been the worst producer of all time, but a great guy.
I don't want to bring it up to him, but my nickname for him was Wilson. The volleyball in the movie Castaway.
This sounds like a compliment.
Because that's basically what he did, was just float there and do nothing.
Well, see, we used to be at Madison Square Garden, in the building at Madison Square Garden, and the show would start, as Don said, at 10, and well, where's Rob? And Rob was in church. Rob would go to church every day at a certain time, and there'd be no guests, but boy, God was listening.
Wow. Did God have a meter?
No. God said that, let's give him 20 years. Yeah, and Rob ended up becoming a politician.
Yes.
He was starting that back then.
Yes, he was starting that back then. And the reason I called him Wilson was because before we officially became the Michael Kay Show, I went to my first Super Bowl. It was the Patriots versus the Rams. You remember that one where we thought that Tom Brady was the underdog, and then you look back and who knew that this was going to open up a whole Pandora's box of championships. So they sent me to New Orleans with Rob. And I'm on Radio Row, and he's reading the newspaper. He would get up to get a donut, come back and just have one donut. And this was back in the infancy of the radio station. I'm not getting any calls. And he's not getting me any guests. And then finally, I'm dying for a guest. Mike McMahon, then backup quarterback of the Detroit Lions. I only knew him because he was the quarterback at Rutgers. Rob, Mike McMahon, looks up from the newspaper. Oh, that's nice. Then get him for me.
Where's Rob?
Come on, Rob.
Come on, show
Come
your
on
face
out.
here. Where are you?
You sure you want to?
So I figure I called.
He probably left.
The only difference between the Wilson in Castaway and the Wilson on the radio show is that when he drifted away, I didn't cry. Come on up, seriously.
No, that was the saddest part of the movie.
No, but he became like the pseudo program director for us and really helped.
Oh, he's up there. Just
get
like,
us going.
Just
So-
like,
There he is.
Just like Lincoln.
No, he's right. Exactly. But
as he's catching
But
one.
he wasn't much of a producer, but he did help me tremendously as a program director.
Heck of a guy.
And we worked a lot together, but I just remember the Wilson story because it's fun and it's better for radio.
Now, I do have to tell you one quick thing. So, in radio, nobody really trusts themselves, so they hire consultants.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you don't know the story. Don does. So, there was a big-time consultant. I really shouldn't say his name, Rick Scott. And
From Seattle, right?
right, from Seattle. I mean, he was a radio genius. And Tim McCarthy and ESPN hired him, and Rick Scott came back and go, you got to get rid of Michael Kay. That's not the guy. Awful. Just awful. Yeah. Yeah.
And
As they say in Friends, okay?
where is Rick Scott now?
I don't know. I think he was outside panhandling.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Tim didn't listen.
Tim didn't. Well, Tim was the one who saw something in me that I didn't even know was there. And he thought I could be a radio talk show host. He took a chance. I mean, I was doing radio with John, the Yankee games, but he said, I think he could do a talk show. So that's how it started.
I mean, it certainly helped that you were the voice of the Yankees, and they had just come off winning 4 championships in 5 years, and you were a name, and we were just trying to get recognized. But you know, people forgot that you covered the Nets all those years, college basketball. You were all over the map sports-wise, but it really helped a startup station to have someone as recognizable as you, and then instantaneously Yes comes in, and now your face is seen. So that was big time for us to get going.
Now we're going to have like it's kind of a show and not a show. I mean, it's a celebration of the 20th anniversary, but we have a big weekend.
Yeah.
We have a big weekend. First of all, you got to get off the ground after that 3-point pick. How many people in this big crowd think the Giants are going to win this weekend?
That's a lot of people.
Wow. How many people think the Jets are going to win? Wow. Wayne Corbett here.
That's right. All right, Wade.
Now, what do you think?
How about this? Like, clearly the Giants are in a rebuild, right? I mean, they didn't do anything at the deadline. So it'd be nice for them to win. I do feel like there's a comeuppance coming, and maybe it will when the schedule gets tougher. This team scores a lot of points. It'll really test the defense. I'm not sure. I won't touch the game, but I'm not sure. But for the Jets, I think they have to win. Well, and I think they should win. They're a better team. Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. No, seriously. Because they're a legit team. They have 6 wins legitimately, I think, and the quarterback's holding them back a bit. But you know, the New England Patriots don't have the talent the Jets do, and the Jets are coming off a bye. And I think the kid was just a little overwhelmed by the moment. But if he is truly the quarterback they think he is, that wasn't Bill Belichick's mysticism that confused him in that game a couple of weeks ago. He just had an awful game.
The Jets defense did enough that day, which is the strong suit of this team. The Jets defense did enough to win that game. All they needed was a pedestrian performance from Zach Wilson. They didn't get it from him that day.
They got a Rick Scott performance.
They got a Rick Scott performance, or as Rick Scott saw Michael Kay performance.
Right.
But if they are able to simply get a no major mistake day from Zach Wilson, I do think they win.
Well, because listen, and when you look around the National Football League, there's not too many impressive defenses. The Jets' defense is impressive. They just shut down Josh Allen. So why would you allow Mac Jones to beat you in a big spot? The door's open for this division. Now, Miami's got, I think, a better quarterback and a better offense, but do they have the defense the Jets do? So they're kicking it old school here, and you're starting to see it in the NFL now. The teams that don't have the quarterback are finding other ways to win because of their defense, because of their running game. 2 things the Jets do well. So the only reason we're in awe of this game is because it's Bill Belichick. They should have been up 17-3 at the half the last time. They shot themselves in the foot. Don't do it now. If they do it, it's on them. They're the better team. They should win this game, and they better.
But
or I'll kill them on Monday.
The bottom line is, we gave you the stats yesterday. First and second year quarterbacks in Foxborough, they just don't do well. So, I mean, he has to play a clean game in order for them to win.
He has to play a clean game. And if he can't play the clean game, then I don't know if this team's really going to go anywhere this year. Because this is a winnable game.
I just think it's unbelievable if we're really honest about the way we were all talking, and Don and I all summer, and Michael too, about what we thought of this Jets team this year. You have to take a moment to just give them props for where they are. Like this is, let's be realistic, guys. You were not thinking about a division at Thanksgiving. And now you can reasonably, as a Jets fan, think that if Josh Allen continues to play the way he's played at times over the last 3 games, you can go for this division. I'm sorry, you got to give props to Robert Saleh and this team. They've put together something special.
And this isn't the Bucks winning the South, where it's just a lousy division and somebody has to win. You can make the case that the AFC East is the best division.
It's right there.
It's right there. Dolphins are playing terrific football. You've got the Buffalo Bills look like a team, or at least did look like a team that can go to the Super Bowl. You know, the Patriots went to the playoffs last year. They got crushed in the game, but they went to the playoffs. So if the fact that they're fighting for the division that is looked upon as one of the best divisions in football, doesn't that tell you that there's an air of legitimacy to this team?
There is. Yeah. I really believe there is. And if they had an established veteran quarterback, I think they could run away with the division, but they don't.
They don't.
And he's going to hold them back a lot. And as for New England wants to make the playoffs too. And obviously, Bill Belichick knows how to do this, and he knows how to scheme, and he knows how to confuse people. So I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, should they win? Yes. Are they going to win? I'm not quite certain.
Well, here's what would scare me just a little bit, because you do respect Belichick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you listened to the sound coming out of Foxborough this week?
No, I haven't heard it.
They're talking up the Jets, best team in football, best defense.
Well, that's what Belichick does.
That's what he does.
But what it also shows me is that he probably figures we played like garbage. We could have been down 70-3. We got to take this team seriously, because you have to take this team seriously. If Bill Belichick feels the Jets are somebody to be taken seriously, doesn't that tell you that they're a legit team?
Who's more likely to win, the Giants or the Jets? If one's going to win, who's more likely to win?
Well, obviously, the easy answer is the Giants, because the Lions are not a very good football team.
But they're a really good offensive team.
But they're a good offensive team.
And the Giants don't score over 30
And the
points.
Giants aren't as good as the Jets. I'm sorry, they're not. The Jets are the better team. Sorry. The Giants to me do not have many sure victories on their schedule.
I'm going to reverse those boos on you. I'm going to defend you here. The Jets are the more talented team. I don't know if Salah's a better coach.
No, the Giants are the better coach team.
But that's part of it. Like, so they'll devise a scheme to make it work, but the talent's there. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys agree. I think the jury's still out on Salah. I mean, right now everybody's in love, but we saw what happened last year. He's a neophyte coach too. Now, I'm not saying that Dable's clearly better, but I think he's had the better year because he's had to work with a lot less.
Let me ask you a question.
Salah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Of the three phases of the game, do the Giants have anything that approximates talent-wise what the Jets' defense is?
Giant defense is pretty good.
It is good.
But it's a full notch below the Jets' defense talent.
It's pretty good defense, though.
Well, it's starting to emerge now with the games that Lawrence has had recently. You've got a healthy Leonard, right? So Leonard Williams. It's starting to look like it could be. It's close. It's closer than you think.
No, I agree. They're very. I don't know. Listen, I'm not trying to diss the Giants. Honestly, I don't hate the Giants as much as one would think. I hate the Eagles and Cowboys significantly more. I don't know if you guys saw what happened on Monday night. The Commanders won. But I don't hate the Giants. I think they're really talented. I mean, I think they have a big future. I don't think it's this year.
We've got a lot of guests coming up, so these guys are going to really have to adhere to the clock, so it's going to be tough.
23, all right? We did all right.
23, that's 1 minute over. Anyway,
pretty good.
We are celebrating the 20th anniversary, and I think special credit has to go to the guy who put the station together. We've mentioned him already, and that's Tim McCarthy. And when Tim McCarthy actually put this station together and had it rolling the way he wanted to, we were crushing the competition in all of the parts. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, there were changes made, and Tim, for some reason or another, which I've never figured out, is no longer with us. I know he's listening. Our appreciation, all three of them, toward him. I don't know if we could thank him enough for what he's done for us and what he did in building the station. This is his baby, and I know it's probably difficult for him to watch it walk without him here, and it's difficult for us as well. But thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim,
for everything that you did as well.
Changed my life.
All right, we also have we got an unbelievable guest list. We have Nick Mangold first.
Oh, Nick Mangold.
He's here.
He's here
Nick
right
Mangold's
now.
here.
Where is he?
No, he'll be here in a sec. He's not up there with Lincoln. Anyway, he'll be here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. We thank everybody here for coming out on a cold Friday and braving Manhattan. Thank you very much. We're going to have a good time today, and it's going to be wild at 7 o'clock. It's Kay LaGreca Rosenberg, and most of all you, right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy responsibly.
1, 2, ding 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 tiki 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 cow ding 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 ding.
One, two. He loops that to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play.
Wow.
And flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. That one's driven into right center field. Giving chase is Millar. He can't get there. Sierra's going to round third. They're going to send him home. Here he comes. He scores. The Yankees have tied the game at 4. Oh, my goodness. What a game. That one's drilled deep to left field. The Yankees will win the game. A pinch hit single for Flaherty. That's one of the greatest games you will ever see. The Yankees win 5-4 in 13 innings. Oh, what a game.
News, rumors, innuendo, all rolled into a big tasty burrito.
There are certainly a lot of question marks.
Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Now I'm a free agent. We'll see what happens.
There's no off season like the baseball off season.
Watch an all-new episode of Yankees Hot Stove, Monday at 7 on Yes and the Yes app.
Ukraine remains under attack. Millions of people have fled, creating the fastest-growing refugee crisis in modern history. Children and families are seeking safety. AmeriCares is responding with critical medicine and supplies, and we're working alongside local partners to get aid where it's most needed. For more than 40 years, AmeriCares has met health needs after natural disasters and in humanitarian crises. We know health is essential for everyone's future. Now AmeriCares is protecting the health of children and adults caught in this terrible crisis. In Ukraine and in the surrounding countries, there is a critical need for medicines, medical supplies, and ongoing health care. So let's work together. Together, we can improve health. Together, we can save lives. Learn how at americares.org/help Ukraine.
Greatness can't be bought. Greatness must be earned, self-created, and self-defined. Not something you're born with, but something you become, something you reveal, something you set free. Greatness frustrates, it motivates. Greatness intimidates and inspires. But most of all, greatness wins.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games in the industry at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app, use the promo code, and get $50 in free casino credits when you deposit $25. Action's so good, why play blackjack anywhere else?
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price Domino's pizzas when you order online right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now?
Right now.
50% off, honey, right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
What's happening in the new NBA app? What isn't happening? Watch this. Because this is can't stop, won't stop, oh, stop it. Being up to speed at the speed of all access to all the above.
And that's all day.
Big stops, bigger shots, passes behind the back, to peeks behind the scenes, in every moment in between.
Because if it's happening in the new NBA app.
You gon' step into this ring with some heavyweights.
Kevin Durant putting on a show. John Morant, what a highlight.
We ain't backing down. That's a promise. That's a promise.
If you're like me, you'd rather talk about basketball or anything other than prostate cancer. But we can't be silent when it comes to our own health. Prostate cancer affects 1 in 8 men in the U.S. I beat it because I was screened and it was detected early. Prostate cancer is often passed on through families. The NBA and the Prostate Cancer Foundation are asking you and your loved ones to know your risks and get screened. Go to pcf.org/getscreened to learn more.
Get trending with Off-Field Fashion as designers from FIT style celebrities from the sports world and beyond. Off-Field Fashion, exclusively on the Yes app.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. We love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
870 ESPN, van driven by Ramsey Mazda, and a guy who's been on the show for many years when he was a player, and now he makes this great barbecue sauce. Nick Mangold is here with us, former Jet, Ring of Honor. Nick, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing great. Now, I was at the game when you got into the Ring of Honor. What did it mean?
It was something that was very special to be able to do that with my family, to know that my name's going to be up there. It was crazy. The week before, I'm doing an interview with a guy. He's like, what do you think it's going to mean to you when you know that your grandchildren are going to be able to go to either MetLife or whatever stadium is after and see your name up there? I was like, well, my kids are 11 to 4. Grandchildren is nowhere near my mind. It blew my mind, and I was like, this is crazy. So actually seeing it up there really hit home.
And I've said it, and I don't know all the ins and outs and how hard it is to get to the Hall of Fame, but I look at you, and you're a Hall of Fame center. You are. I mean, you're one of the, and honestly, and I'm not saying that because you're here, because you guys know I've backed it up. You're one of the top 5 players in the history of the organization. I never saw anybody play the way that you played in your entire career here, stabilizing an offensive line that was one of the major reasons why you guys went to back-to-back championship games.
Well, I appreciate that. I need to come around here more.
Yeah.
This is much better than my kids yelling at me. Daddy, you made the steak wrong.
How much joy do you get seeing the team in a good spot right now? You were there for great years. You were there for lean years. How does it feel to see them playing so well?
It's fantastic. And going to the games and being with the fans and everything, being able to do the tailgate stuff that I do, there's so much passion right now for the team, and everyone's so excited. And it's neat seeing, when you're walking down the streets and seeing somebody with a Jets hat on and having a little bit of pride to it. It's good to see again.
All right, so they're going to be in Foxborough on Sunday after losing to the Patriots 2 weeks ago at MetLife. So what does Bill Belichick do that bedevils a quarterback?
He takes away your strength, and now you have to play with your weakness as your strength, and that's a thing he's been doing forever, and that he's very good at. And so he's going to take away, what the Jets do well, and he's going to make Zach Wilson, I think, perform in the air with his arm. And I think Zach is up to the pressure. You see him gain some of that confidence in the Buffalo game. Now, after the bye, being able to rest and kind of get a look at what you're doing coming into New England, which is a tough place to play. It's going to be a big challenge for him.
Well, the Jets are trying to do what you guys did in 2009 and 2010, and that's try to win and also develop a young quarterback. How difficult was that to do?
It's tricky because, you want to win, and to win you need to be able to run the ball, but you also want to develop your quarterback at the same time. So it's definitely a difficult balance to do, and I think they're doing it the right way. He seems to be growing. He's definitely grown from last year to this year. And so I think as long as he keeps growing, that will be the key to the success of the Jets.
What's the thing that blows you away the most about them? Did you expect them to be in this? If they win Sunday, they're in first place on Thanksgiving. Did you expect it this year this quick?
You always do. Like, I have my future bet in for the Jets and winning the Super Bowl. But, it's one of those things you want to see marked improvement, and I think they're doing that. And I think last year, having a lot of young guys and a lot of inexperience, I think they learned from that. And that's why that defense is flying around and doing so well, which also helps the offense and doesn't put as much pressure. Like, hey, we got to go score points. What
do you think of Saleh?
I like him. I really do. Like, and not just because our kids play sports together, because that is a nice little help. But he's a coach who is a player's coach, but he's also very demanding. And so I think that's a good combination right there.
Do you miss playing? Every ex-player that I ask this question, they say they don't miss playing so much. They miss being part of a team. They miss the locker room, the clubhouse. What is it with you?
That's exactly the same. I don't miss playing football. I like waking up in the morning and feeling pretty good. But I do miss the guys in the locker room, the camaraderie, jokes that are being thrown around. I miss the hot tub, cold tub. Like, you can't just create that in the house that much. Okay. The Jets have really good soups.
They have good soup? Really?
Wow.
Really good soups.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So those are the 3 things I miss the most.
What is the adjustment like at first, though? Like, over your career, you have a decade where you go away in the summer, late in the summer. You don't really have any consistency at home for 6 months, which of course is sad, but you're also having fun. How hard is that adjustment at first when you're like, well, I guess I'm just home now?
Well, Tom Brady lasted 40 days.
Exactly, because it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. That was the thing. Like, you finish the season, and you have a definite time that you were going back, and you knew, like, all right, training camp starts this time, mini camp and everything, so you knew. And when that first offseason, we were like, I don't know, like, when am I going to miss it? And that actually never came for me, which was kind of nice.
Okay, interesting. Greg Butler used to say to me that he got paid to practice. He played for free. Is there truth to that?
I could see that. That's not bad. I got paid to play.
Yeah.
Taking every dollar.
Yeah, I did not like practice. I was not a big practice fan.
Tell us about this. Is this a business of yours now?
This is Mangold 74 BBQ. We have an OG, and I brought the spicy here for you guys today.
Well, I'm going to take Michael's. Don't even waste his time.
I like.
You like barbecue?
Yeah, I can do this.
The spicy?
Yeah.
You sure
Guys, do you think he's going to eat the barbecue sauce?
I'll drink it right out of the bottle.
I do not recommend doing that.
Don't do that?
I lost a bet and had to take a shot of barbecue sauce.
The hot one?
Not good.
Was it the hot one?
It was the hot one.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very thick consistency because it's delicious. And, and it's my own recipe. I made it up in my kitchen. I still have the notebook where I was writing it down. And so, like, trying to take a shot and just, like, get stuck in your throat. And
so I shouldn't do it.
No. You're off the hook. You're off the hook.
You can eat it. Please do.
You can eat it? Okay.
Chicken tender, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Drinking it, yeah.
People want to shop, Michael.
So when did this come to be? I mean, it just over time, and you started using it at home at barbecuing and said, I could sell this.
Yeah, so that was, I started doing it. I got big into barbecue while I was playing, and then when I got done, it was like, all right, let's find something to do. And, you know, there was something fun that I got to do. Right now I have the OG and the spicy, which are coordinate with my two sons. I want to get 2 more out for my daughters, so that, like, we have 4 sauces. And we started back in 2019. And, you know, the pandemic, I think, set us back a little bit. Sure. Slow things. Because you can't, like, how do you sell barbecue sauce when you're like, I can't come see you to try it?
Right.
A little tricky.
So where do people buy this? So
right now we are switching over our online sales. So it'll be back online very soon. But local areas, Pastosas, they carry it. Some of the ShopRites. We have a couple local places. So really, the big thing is trying to get it out to the people and saying, hey, like, go to your grocery store and say, hey, I want Mangold 74 barbecue sauce. Talk to the manager. That way they call us and we can get it to them.
Do you ever envision when this makes you a billionaire getting into coaching?
I don't think it'll make me a billionaire as things are going, but coaching would be fun. I think the highest level, though, I think I would want to do is high school. My wife and I talk about this all the time.
Well, that's great, though. Got Jeff Saturday a head coaching job.
Exactly. I know. Well, I'm qualified now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm qualified. I'm qualified.
Hey, he's undefeated, Mike.
That he is. He's batting 1,000. So
you have done some high school coaching?
I've done up to 4th grade.
Okay.
So I've got 4th grade coaching.
And you like it?
It's fun. It's neat seeing the kids playing the game just to play the game and have fun with it. Like after going through college and professional, you see kind of the sausage being made, and you know it's business.
Right.
Going back to when kids are just like, oh, it's me and my buddies from school going out to play football. Like it's nice. Like it's re-energizing of enjoying the sport.
Who did you hate to play against the most?
Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
But I mean, we went 23 times. I think we went against each other. That's a lot of battles.
He was enormous. How did?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, you're a big man, but he was bigger than you.
Oh, he was definitely bigger. And the tough part with him is obviously you see the size, but his athletic ability was amazing. Word on the street, there was a rumor going around that he could still dunk a basketball. I was like, there's no way. And so then we ended up getting a defensive line coach who was out at New England. I was like, I have to ask. Could Vince Wilfork actually dunk a basketball? He said, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it.
So he was close to 4 bills.
Had to be.
Right?
He was listed at 330, but that was
that's always a lie.
That was a lie.
Yeah. So let's say 350 for argument's sake.
We'll say
and he's soaring up there and dunking.
Dunking, yeah.
Oh, that's an athlete, man.
That's an athlete.
So were there just certain people that you'd go up against that by the time the ball was snapped, you're just, if they're that good, is it like an almost impossible task? Like how hard is that if someone's that fast and that big and that athletic to be able to block them?
I mean, I couldn't dunk a basketball, but I thought I would be able to hold my own. So that's why I think the battles were so great, because I believe that we were 2 really good players going against each other. And you get past the physical side, now you're getting into the mental side of, I know what he's going to try to do, he knows what I'm going to try to do, and how are we going to counter that? And it's a lot of fun battles.
Is center the hardest position on the field to you?
Obviously.
And requires the smartest player.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you like Rex Ryan?
I loved Rex.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You loved playing for him?
I loved playing for him. He was a riot. He after Mangini, where it was very business and very, this is how things are going to be, him coming back in and realizing that football is still fun. Like, we can have fun. It can still be a business, but we can have fun with it. was huge.
Yeah, and Mancini doesn't seem like he had much fun. Anyway, go out and get this. We thank you for coming by. It's so nice of you on the 20th anniversary.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And congratulations to you guys.
Thank
it was
you so much.
fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Great achievement. I never made 20 years, so I only got 11 in.
Yeah, but your 11 is worth 30.
Yeah, well said. Maybe more.
All right, Mike Greenberg's going to join us in just a moment. Nick Meingold, everybody's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, and we'll be back on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. But we didn't stop with shirts. We also created so much more, from polos to sweaters to pants. We even have a line just for her, so everyone can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Shop our Thanksgiving weekend sale at untuckit.com today.
Dupixent helps you do more with less asthma and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
When you support City Harvest, you feed hope, love, and joy. You feed confidence, community, and comfort. You feed health, strength, and spirit. When you support City Harvest, you do more than just provide hundreds of millions of pounds of food to millions of hungry New Yorkers. When you support City Harvest, you feed good.
It's a season for the ages.
What a year. Just a magical season.
Done it again. A walk-off by Aaron Judge. Drove deep to left field. Number 60. Number 61. 62. He's done it. He has done it.
What would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
He has worked the count full. Well, Mays has to throw him a pitch over the plate, otherwise he walks in a run. Posada is on deck. Yankees lead 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Action in the Twins bullpen. That one's hit deep to right field. Going back to Dyer, looking up. See ya! A grand slam for Hideki Matsui. And the Yankees lead 7-1. What an introduction to Yankee Stadium.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games in the industry at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app, use the promo code, and get $50 in free casino credits when you deposit $25. action's so good, why play blackjack anywhere else?
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick and play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
The 3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back, Joyce. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
Hey everyone, I'm Ali Melendez. Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC, exclusively on the Yes app. We're taking a wellness journey to explore what New Yorkers are doing to be their happiest and healthiest selves. From workout classes, I feel good, I feel set up for success, to relaxation, to finding the proper balance. So fresh. Let's get well, New York. I am so excited to get into this. Let's do it. Woo! Stream new episodes of Well Life NYC now on the Yes app.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
Right here, baby.
The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Well, the Mike K Show 20th anniversary show on 98.7 ESPN brought to you by the MoheganSunCasino.com app. Where do you play, Mohegan? Must be 21 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 877-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Now, because I'm a hack, I did not close out the Gang Green report, but it does lead right into our next guest. Gang Green report driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. I don't think we have to introduce this next guest to the people here on Broadway, but to people that are listening on radio, they certainly might want to hear that our good friend, the great Mike Greenberg, has made his way across town to join us here. At the Palladium, and I don't want to get mushy, but when we were struggling, and you know, Greeny's a big star, he never big-timed us or anything like that. Every time we asked him to be on the show, he would. He's just a mensch. He's a great guy, and we thank you for all those years of doing that.
Well, I'm very proud of you guys. Congratulations. It's an extraordinary accomplishment. You have been the best show in this city for 20 years, and I say that as a listener more than anything else. Beyond being a friend, you guys know particularly. I've now moved to the city as my kids are off in college, but when we lived in Connecticut, I was, you know what life is like in the suburbs. You're in your car constantly, so you guys kept me company everywhere I went. As my kids went from being very little to being old enough to yell at you on the radio. My son is disagreeing with the things you say, and it was great.
Love it. And Greeny wasn't just accommodating with his time. He's somebody that actually believed in the station. I mean, you were a national guy, but you listened to the station. You'd call in if you disagreed with something that we said. And I really felt comfortable, because there's that disconnect between network and local. It was always a struggle that we had in the early portion of the station, for sure. And you kept that connection because you were one of the biggest shows in the country. You're in the Hall of Fame, for God's sakes.
Two.
Well, there you go.
That's right. Two halls of fame.
Let's not miss. Wait, what's the second one?
Well, we're in the National Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame and the National Radio Hall.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, you're Hall of Fame.
Well, let's not shortchange the Hall of Fame.
And Peter, he'd come in and fill in. I did shows with him when Michael would be away on vacation, and it was That really made,
Well, I like
that really
it.
helped.
I always enjoyed it, and you know, there are wonderful things and challenging things about everything. So when you do a nationally syndicated show, as I have always done in radio, well, in everything, I guess, since I left Chicago in the late '90s, which is where I used to work locally, I miss the opportunity to reach out and touch people like you guys are doing here, and to take the, you know, to talk directly about the teams that matter the most to me, particularly the Jets, who play a monster game this weekend. And I tweeted at the beginning of the week, this game scares me to death because I'm so convinced that we're going to win. And that generally speaking, things always tend to go much better for the Jets when I'm convinced things are going to go badly. And I think most Jet fans probably understand when I say that the fact that I genuinely believe we are finally going to beat them in that place for the first time in 14 years.
2 weeks ago you didn't, in your place.
That's correct, and that is one of the many things that is. The Jets are definitively a better team. I mean, man for man, up and down the roster, the Jets are definitely better than the Patriots. They had two things working against them in that game. First, that was the first game after Breece Hall got hurt, and I think that really hurt as they were trying to figure out how they were going to handle the running game. They've had 2 weeks, including a bye, to figure that out. That should help. But the second piece of it, and Don and I were just talking in the back room, Bill Belichick basically just sat back and said, I'm not going to let you run the ball, and I'm going to count on the fact that your kid quarterback is going to throw it to me. And that's exactly what he did. And that's what drove me so crazy, because the Jets should have won that game 5 different ways, despite the fact that there was the terrible call, you know, that wipes out the pick six. The Jets win the game anyway if that call doesn't get made. But if Zach just doesn't do that, if Zach doesn't give them the game, which I do not believe he will do, I believe he will learn from what happened, then I think the Jets are better than them in every way and should absolutely win.
I'm with you.
You guys are going to love this story. You brought up the last time they won in Foxborough. Brett Favre was the quarterback, 2008.
Right.
Tell us how you consumed that game.
So I had to do the evening Sports Center in those days, and then I was doing Mike and Mike the following morning. So I would stay up in Bristol, and I watched the first half in my office in Bristol. Then I drove back to the hotel, you know, to get ready for bed. I was going to watch the second half in bed in my hotel room. I find out then, to my horror, that whatever channel the game was on Thursday nights then, I don't think there was even an NFL Network then. Whatever it is, my hotel doesn't have it. So I cannot watch the game. So I called the hotline of ESPN. I think we were still 1050 then. I don't think it was 98.7. I called the hotline and I said, hey, it's Greeny. Put me on hold. And I sat there and I listened to Bob Wischusen call the second half of the Jet game and the night that Favre beat them. And that's the who would have known? There were no iPhones the last time that we won a game in Foxborough. This Sunday is going to be the next one.
Do you realize, Mike, that if you guys win on Sunday, you'll enjoy Thanksgiving in first place?
I will enjoy Thanksgiving, period. You could have ended the sentence there. If we win, then I will enjoy Thanksgiving. Look, this season has been so far beyond, I think, the wildest realistic imagination of any Jet fan. That you know, when I hear Rick and Dave Rothenberg talking about this a lot early in the morning, I don't like how this has become about, well, if they don't make the playoffs, then it'll have been a disappointment and all that sort of thing. That's a layer that I don't think we need. This team is already well ahead of schedule. And if the quarterback develops, which is still the most important thing that has to happen this season, the Jets have a chance next year, I think, to compete for everything. I mean, literally to be a Super Bowl contender. The quarterback just has to get there. I don't know that how many games they win the rest of the way this year actually impacts that as much as it might seem. So I don't want anyone, I don't want the players on the team, I don't want any of the vibe around it to feel as though it was a disappointment if they wind up 10-7 and miss the playoffs this year. If you had told a Jet fan before the season started they were going to win 10 games, I would have said you were out of your mind. It has been a sensational season.
So what would be your preference? If this Sunday the Jets win in spite of Zach Wilson, who plays around the same or slightly, but let's be realistic, because slightly better than the last game, but they win the game, or they lose, but Zach absolutely steps up, has a great day, no interceptions, and looks like the man for the job.
I almost think that's impossible.
It's a great, what it is a great question. This is why Rosenberg is so good. It's a very good question. In this particular case, you want to win the game. So, I mean, I'll win the game however you win the game. But the mere fact that you asked the question, I think, tells you everything you need. The most important thing that has to happen is that at the end of this season, all of us feel, because it has to be so obvious, that Zach Wilson is on his way to being a terrific quarterback. That's the most important thing that can happen.
Because you don't want to relive 09 and 2010, because that's what it was. You were good enough to win.
Right.
You didn't have the quarterback to do it. Because you said only the quarterback. Well, that's what it's all about, right? I think they've got a championship caliber defense. I think the offensive line has come around. They can run the ball. They've got weapons. So they've got to find out if they have a quarterback. And as much as I agree with you, you wouldn't be disappointed if they missed the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs because of the quarterback play, you'll go into next year not knowing.
Right.
And not knowing about your quarterback is really not knowing about your football
That's
team.
what I mean. I mean, we're sort of saying the same thing, but from different angles. If we don't know about our quarterback going into next year, then whether we make the playoffs or not is not nearly as significant as would otherwise seem. So we need the kid to play well. Look, the best case scenario is that he does, that he makes improvement. We still have almost half a season to go. It feels like we've come so far. There's a lot of football left to be played. If he continues to improve steadily and realistically, and the Jets wind up making the playoffs, win a playoff game, then this will have been one of the great seasons the franchise has had in a very long time, and it really could be the springboard towards something special.
What do you think about the Giants season so far?
It's a miracle. I think that they should rename the Coach of the Year award the Brian Daboll Award and just give it to somebody else every year. This is the best coaching job I've ever seen. I still can't believe they're doing it. I also am having fights with everybody, as obviously with my Giant fan friend, Mr. LaGreca, on Get Up every single morning. I think Saquon Barkley is the MVP of the league. I really do. He is the only thing they have offensively, and everyone knows it, and they still can't stop him. I think right now, with that team 7-2, I think Saquon Barkley should be a top 3 MVP candidate.
This is why I need to learn from Greeny as a broadcaster, because we said similar things. By him saying that Daboll they should rename the award, he's essentially saying, team's not that talented. Coaching's incredible. The difference is you didn't say that part. I'm stupid. I focus on the lack of talent. But you're right. It is the coaching that is just incredible.
They have good players on defense.
They do.
They do. And the offensive line has obviously gotten much better, and that's been the biggest problem a long time. I think if you were to inject Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll with truth serum and say, do you think Daniel Jones is going to be your quarterback whenever the time comes that you make the push towards what you believe this team can ultimately achieve? I would be surprised if the answer was yes. I don't know that it isn't yes, but I would be surprised if they think that. I think they're punching way above their weight.
The only thing that you could say in defense of Jones is they don't have a lot of weapons, but they've designed an offense to say we're going to try to squeeze as much as we can of this guy. But a few months ago, they didn't give him the 50-year option. They don't believe.
They don't not have a lot of weapons. They don't have any weapons. I am a professional sportscaster for 30 years, and I live in the city, and I don't know who the people he's throwing the ball to are.
That game against Houston felt like a preseason game.
Who is Lawrence Cager? I don't even know who this is. I'm reading the name L. Cager on my phone. I'm trying to figure out who just scored a touchdown, and could I possibly have him on DraftKings? I have no idea what it costs, like $1,100 on DraftKings. Daniel Jones is playing by himself out there. Look, he's been terrific. He has earned himself a job somewhere. But I don't know. I think that this Giant team could be a very attractive spot for the next disgruntled quarterback out there, wherever that guy may decide he wants to go.
You have the NBA tonight? Who do you have?
We have the Knicks, actually, in our late game. Knicks Warriors is the late game.
Looking for 3 straight.
The early game is Bucks Sixers, so Embiid against Giannis.
That's not bad.
You know, it's a good night.
Yeah, absolutely a good night. Now, 20 years we're celebrating. I just have to ask you this personally, and I think for Don as well. Your kids are no longer in the house. Do you miss them?
Yeah, you miss them in the weirdest of times. Like Sundays is when I really miss, particularly my son Steven. Like, you know, I became very accustomed to watching particularly the Jets, but all football with him. And, you know, my wife does the best she can, but she doesn't make the same level of interesting comments that...
To the show. We are still waiting on Robert Saleh, so as we do, we'll take some phone calls from you. Let's go to Tristan in New Jersey. Tristan.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You got it. What's up?
Big fan of the show. Thank you guys so much. I have won tickets for the 20th. I was there on Friday, and I had a great time there with my wife.
Good.
Awesome.
See you guys. So that was good. But I just wanted to say, like, I forget who said. I think who said it this morning? I think it was Bart Scott said something this morning, and it made me think about it. Like with Zach Wilson, there's a lot of times where, I mean, there's people in the world that are good at certain things, but when it comes to organized sports, they might just fall flat. Like, I feel like he's really good at certain things, but it's just not 100%. It's like the guy at the rec center, right? He stands in the corner all day shooting threes, but then once it's time to pick up a game, that guy's really not that good because he only has one skill. That's where I kind of feel like Zach Wilson's kind of at right now. Where he's talented, but he just can't put it into game, form, I guess.
Well, Tristan, that doesn't bode well for the Jets. If he's got the talent, then they got to get out of him.
I don't think it's he was good enough to be drafted second overall. So he's a kid. He made some mistakes, obviously, in the post-game press conference. It's frustrating, but I would like to give him a little bit more time. But maybe he's thrown to the wolves way too quick. That's the debate here. There's two separate things on the table. Would it be better for him to take a look from the bench just for a little bit and then put him back in, or completely give up on him? I'm not ready to give up on him.
No, me neither.
No.
I think he should go to the bench for the purpose of him getting back.
Yeah, I think that's part of the process.
All right, so we have the coach now on the line, which is a good thing, and we thank him for joining us. I assume it has been a very, very busy day, so Robert Saleh joins us here on the show. The Robert Saleh Report on 98.7 ESPN is brought to you by Pepsi. Coach, how are you doing today? That was a tough one to take, I would assume.
Yeah, losing in that fashion is never fun. It sucked.
Now, we're following along when you were talking to the print media, and it looks like, I mean, I don't want to put a word in your mouth, that you're wavering on who the starting quarterback will be this weekend?
I guess you could say that. I wouldn't say wavering. I just want to make sure we're committed to doing the right thing for the organization. It doesn't. I know it's going to be demonstrative. It doesn't mean we're going to make a change. I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and I don't want to say something and then whatever. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, as you debate that, Coach, is the thought, what gives us the best chance to win for the Bears, or what gives us the best chance to make sure that Zach Wilson is moving in the right direction?
All of it. I do think, we're playing really well on defense. We've got some good pieces. But Zach is at the front of it in terms of just doing everything we can to make sure that he is always operating at his best. No different than we do for our offensive line and our O-line and D-line and DBs. You're just trying to put these guys in the best position to be successful so they can have long careers and do the things that they need to do to have the success that we know they're capable of having. So, there's the immediate view, but there's also the long-term view that you've got to keep.
Coach, I think of everything that was bothersome to fans and media alike yesterday, the thing that may have stood out the most was not on the field, but after the game when Zach sort of, as many people see it, didn't take full accountability. When you heard what Zach said, did you immediately speak to him? If so, how did you address that?
I talked to him. We had a conversation, and he actually approached me because, he's such an ultimate competitor. Did it come off as clean as he wanted to? Obviously not. I don't think he ever says, he looks at a tape and says, well, it's not my fault. I think he does as good a job as anyone in terms of holding himself accountable to holding himself to the highest standard possible. I get it. It came off bad, and I just talked to him about the importance of staying, removing the emotion from the podium and just speaking in a way that keeps the attention on himself in a positive light in terms of understanding the ramifications of a game or whatever. Whether it's just me almost like he's going to learn from it basically, and I know where his heart is. I think his teammates know where his heart is. There are, he prepares as good as anybody, and I just, he made a mistake on the podium.
I'm sorry, Coach. When he makes a mistake like that,
I was just saying that. Yeah, go ahead.
When he makes a mistake like that, Coach, and your defense has been playing so great. I mean, one of the best defensive units in the entire NFL. Are you afraid that he can lose the locker room, that there will be internal strife?
No, because I don't think one mistake on the podium is indicative of the everyday conversations these guys have in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to the outside world, it's like, oh my God, look what he said. Well, they talk every day. It's not that's not the language they speak. He's not walking in the locker room and flipping up the bird to those guys. There's a team. They're all in it together. They go to work together. They practice together, and there's a lot of conversations that everyone's having together. And so while the outside world might look at that thing and say, oh my God, look how he's talking to his team, they talk every day. And so he made a mistake, and an emotional. You just think about these young men, and he feels like he might be attacked, and it didn't come off right. So I think it's something that he'll be able to learn from.
But words aside, we can see it divide a locker room when one unit is playing at an elite level and the other unit is struggling. Is that something that concerns you, that the defense feels like that maybe the offense isn't living up to their end of the bargain on the field?
It could, but it shouldn't. At the end of the day, the defense's job is to get the ball back for the offense, and the offense's job is to finish with a kick, one way or the other. And so it's just do your job. And it wasn't long ago that last year we were struggling on defense, and the offense needed to support the defense. And I think this year it's flipped a little bit, where the offense is struggling a little bit, and we need a little support from the defensive side of the ball. And I think it's important for guys to recognize that, to always remember where you came from and remember the development that it took you to get going in this league. And I think our locker room understands that. And I think if they don't, I think they'll learn to understand that it takes time and everyone moves at their own pace. And the defense is built in a way where, continue to focus on one play at a time. And like I said, at the end of the day, you got to get the ball back for the offense, period, no matter what the score is.
Now, Coach, we know how much you believe in the power of positivity. It's sort of your mantra. The face that you had after that punt return yesterday was different than I'd seen from you. What was going through your mind, and where did that rank with all-time sort of what-the-hell moments?
After the Cleveland game, I told you guys that I've been in games where I've lost on a Hail Mary, won on a Hail Mary, lost a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. I was part of the Rosenkotler game against Indianapolis and Houston, where Indianapolis came back in a miraculous fashion. I've been a part of some ridiculous football games. And, that goes right out. I was part of the Hail Mary game way back, Seattle and Green Bay. So it's, there's a lot of different ways that I've seen games end, and you just never, it's just like, what the F? And it's like, how the hell does that happen right now? And it's just like, there's a lot of things that have to go wrong on a punt for that to happen. And it just so happened that it did. So,
I'm watching the offense, Coach, and obviously Zach's the guy that's out there. But LaFleur is also making the calls, and it seems like you guys are coaching him or calling plays that he doesn't have the ability to make the big mistake. It's almost like quarterbacking on training wheels. Are you ever going to really find out about Zach Wilson unless you let him let his freak fly?
That's a fair question. It's there's always a trust thing where you're trying to make sure you do what's best for Zach, what's best for the offense, and what the offense is capable of. It's not all just about the quarterback, because there's 10 other guys that have to be able to execute those plays too. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you could talk about the quarterback, but it's making decisions as a play caller. There's 10 other guys that have to go execute too for the quarterback to be successful. And if you're calling plays that the other players can't execute, well, then what the hell's the point anyway? And so it's just trying to put together the best plays possible where all 11 can execute at a very high level, so we can perform at a high level is what's most important. And there's times where depending on what defenses are presenting, the weather yesterday a little bit, just you're trying to make sure you manage the game the best you can. But I do think Zach is capable of anything that we ask him to do. It's just a matter of whether or not we get the opportunity to put him in those situations.
It's awful to lose, Coach, but it's another loss to the Patriots. Is it a concern is there something to get over with that team, or could that have just happened to anybody?
Yeah, it's obviously it's real. It's what is it, 14 now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like Michael Jordan trying to learn how to beat the Pistons way back in the day. It's just you gotta learn to exercise your demons and knock one out. I feel like we've done a lot of that this year. Won a division game. We've done a lot of different things this year that I feel like have been exercised, and we'll continue to do things that are pretty freaking cool. This is a really cool football team, but that's one of the things that we're going to have to learn to do. It's one of those demons we're going to have to exercise, and we'll get 2 more opportunities next year. But in the meantime, got to focus on the next one. That's Chicago.
Now, Coach, you haven't made a decision yet, but there is a decision to be made about who your quarterback's going to be. And a couple of weeks ago on our show, you said the only way I would change Zach Wilson is because of an injury. He's my quarterback. Did you see something yesterday and all of the circumstances surrounding it that takes you off of that stance?
Yeah, when you obviously you after the game you have a chance to answer something, but I also get a chance to kind of just sit back, watch the tape on the plane ride home, and just look at the numbers and look at things, and you're like, well, shoot, man, we had 100 yards of offense in an NFL football game, and so it's just, let's just hit the reset button. Let's talk about everything. Let's put everything on the table. And I get the quarterback is getting the most attention, but we're looking at everything and just trying to find ways to get better so our offense can operate the way we know it's capable of operating.
Coach, is a decision this big? I mean, this guy's the number 2 pick in the draft. Is it just Saleh and LaFleur, or is it also go to Johnson and Douglas?
Joe is always involved. I'm always going to involve Joe just because of our working relationship. Just he gives us the floor to talk about the draft and the draftable players. I'm always going to give him the floor to talk about personnel decisions here too. So that's the respect I think he and I have. So we're always communicating in that regard. I think the Johnson family does a hell of a job in terms of just letting us do our job and trusting that whatever decisions we come up with are what's best for the organization, and so really appreciate them and their support. So this is just something that we'll gather heads and with regards to the coaching staff and Joe and just come up with the best decision possible. And again, that's just not the quarterback. That's every position on offense.
Curious just how it functions. Joe Flacco has been inactive, but can he still be a help to Zach even though he's not dressed?
I think so. I mean, I think that's part of Joe. During I get the game is what we all focus on, but there's 6 days that operate before the game, in terms of Monday through Saturday, and then game day happens. So Joe's here. He's in game plan meetings. He does everything, and he's right there with those guys, and he's always talking to them. So he's fantastic, and just very thankful Joe's here.
Well, we thank you. Obviously, we will not talk to you before Thanksgiving, but we hope that you can enjoy the holiday with your family, and we'll talk to you next week after Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Well, it's tough, man.
Listen, the wheels are turning because it's not only does he sit, who does he sit for?
Right.
So, and you got to listen, it makes sense, Michael. This is not benching your left tackle. This is not deciding whether Denzel Mims plays or not.
Don, this has long-term ramifications.
Right, so that's why Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson have to be involved. Maybe you think, well, why should the owner be involved? But he's going to have a say. So when you make a decision like this, it's no wonder it probably took a couple of hours to sort it out, and it's probably still getting sorted out. Making sure you've talked to all the players, communicate to them. For all I know, it might have taken 2 hours to get Joe Flacco on the phone to tell him he might be the starting quarterback on Sunday. So there's a lot of moving parts here that include, and the Jets have always said, Michael, they function kind of as a unit. So Robert's got to talk to Joe. Joe's got to talk to Woody. Woody's got to talk to LaFleur, and everybody's going to have a say.
All right, that was the Robert Saleh Report, brought to you by Pepsi. Jet fans, head over to your local grocer and stock up for Jets game day. Football watching better with Pepsi, available at ShopRite. You want to go to that Jet game on Sunday? We're giving away tickets when we get back, so stay right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Did you get it? I got it. has a chicken breast with no breading and has garlic and cumin. Slow down. There's no time. Black pepper. Hello?
They try to copy us every time.
Introducing the new blackened chicken sandwich. No breading, all flavor.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games in the industry at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app, use the promo code, and get $50 in free casino credits when you deposit $25. Action's so good, why play blackjack anywhere else?
At Domino's, next time you order 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each, you could be in for a shock. Because hundreds of new electric vehicles are rolling out to deliver Domino's across America.
You good? I'm great.
Cuervo on the rocks.
Introducing Tradicional Cristalino.
The holidays were awkward for Romeo and Juliet. But after saving big with Amazon Black Friday, tragedy was avoided. Shop legendary deals.
Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC. I am so excited to get into this. Let's get well, New York. I feel good. I feel set up for success. Well Life NYC, now on the YES app.
News, rumors, innuendo, all rolled into a big tasty burrito.
There are certainly a lot of question marks.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Now I'm a free agent. We'll see what happens.
There's no off-season like the baseball off-season.
Watch an all-new episode of Yankees Hot Stove tonight at 7 on YES and the YES app.
Check it out.
Alcoholics Anonymous. We're here to help.
We're about to start the meeting. Welcome to anyone new.
For more information, visit aa.org and download the Meeting Guide app.
Toyota-thon is on. Now's the time to get an exciting new Toyota. Like Camry Hybrid, RAV4, Tundra, and more.
How did you...
Magic.
Get 3.49% APR financing for a full 48 months on the fuel-efficient RAV4. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost service plan.
Come in today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
If you were diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call the law firm of Whites and Luxembourg, who, for the last 30 years, has achieved record-breaking New York City mesothelioma and lung cancer verdicts for thousands of your neighbors and coworkers. It does make a difference which law firm you hire, so choose wisely and call Whites and Luxembourg today. Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
10 years ago, we started Untuckit out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuckit, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Shop our Thanksgiving weekend sale at untuckit.com today.
100% of families battling cancer need hope. That's why my family and I established the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. Our mission is to provide both financial and emotional support to families facing a pediatric cancer diagnosis. We provide direct grants to families to pay everyday household expenses, as well as one-of-a-kind experiences so children can look back on their treatment and have something to smile about. Please join us in our fight to help us knock cancer out of the park.
ran an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
The challenges our planet's animals are facing sometimes feel a bit heavy.
The animals haven't eaten in a day, 2 days. They haven't drank anything. They're cold. They're dehydrated.
As soon as we started our descent, everywhere I could see was mud. Just absolutely mud.
The country has been prolonged for a drought for so long. It was like a tinderbox waiting to go up.
Okay, very heavy. Each of us wants to be part of the solution, and we can be. Remember that there's good happening right now. At home.
All right, we were able to get into your unit, and we have all 4 of your cats. So,
okay. And around the world. For any animal in any disaster. So let's focus on that, right? Be part of the solution, one rescue at a time. Search ifa.org/disaster ready.
Get trending with off-field fashion as designers from FIT style celebrities from the sports world and beyond. Off-field fashion, exclusively on the YES app.
I would think that Robert Saleh is just dying a little bit inside. Sure. I mean, that's a tough loss. And this is your quarterback. This is the guy that you and Joe Douglas said, this is the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land. And now, 2 yards of offense in the second half. That's the promised land, Don, is much farther away than 2 yards.
For sure. And you know who, by the way, is most happy about Zach Wilson's performance yesterday?
Who?
Brian Dable.
Oh, yeah. Takes so much away from the Giants.
We've barely gotten to talk about the Giants, who were a huge disappointment. They were a big disappointment, too. But I mentioned it to Tessa, and I think there is a positive to this. The contracts for Jones and Barkley are going to look a lot different at the end of the season than they did going into the Lions game. Now, I think the Giants want to still make it work with Barkley, but I don't think his second half is going to be like his first. And Jones, the same thing.
Can I
could you maybe get those
before you finish?
I think it's a great idea.
The Big Blue Report brought to you by London, the engagement shop at London Jewelers. Please continue.
So, is it possible if they do lose out or win one game the rest of the way and don't make the playoffs, that you might be able to get Jones and Barkley back cheaper than you would if they won 12 games and went to the playoffs?
Well, it depends on how they play, and I think we're all prisoners of the moment. We really are. You have long been on the bandwagon. Why did they take Barkley with the second pick in the draft? Do you really want to invest that kind of money? As great as he has been this year, right? He's going to be in the top 5 in the MVP. Do you really want to spread a 5-year contract out in front of him with major bucks? And with Daniel Jones, is he really the answer?
The point is that, see, that's why I brought this up with Steve Young. Everybody thinks I'm killing the Giants. I'm not. This is the reality. At the end of if they lose out, they're kind of the same team they were when they were 7-2. And one of the reasons that they would lose out to me is because they've got tons of injuries. So I'm not killing them. It is what it is. Peter, we've been saying it for a few weeks. They don't have a lot of talent. They're exceptionally coached. How are they 7-2? Do you realize their point differential is 1 point? Think about that. They've got the same record as the Dallas Cowboys, who are a plus 80. So that kind of tells you that they were kind of doing it with smoke and mirrors. And now with how difficult the schedule is going to be, with all their injuries, I don't know if they're going to win another game. And I'm not killing them. I'm just saying that that's the reality of what they are. And overall, maybe all they should have been with the coaching and the talent is a 7-10, 8-9 football team. And if that's the case and the second half is bad, then maybe I get Jones $5 million cheaper. Maybe I'm able to franchise Barkley and then be able to free up to be able to give Jones the money that he needs, and it not be if they ended up going 12 wins and Barkley finishes close to the MVP and Jones has a miraculous season, and that's going to cost me even more. They know what this team is, guys. They didn't do a thing at the deadline because this is not coming to a surprise to this organization.
Now, let me throw this at you, though. So you say you might get Jones cheaper. Do you want Jones? Do you want Jones to be your quarterback? That's the question I have to ask you.
Well, I would like to
whatever price.
Well, but maybe they're looking at it and saying, well, I can go out and get, if I can get Jones a little cheaper.
Right.
And I don't have to spend a ton of money on Barkley. I've got cap space where I can go out and get Jones some weapons. Now, think of what Jones did in the first half of the year, where they were able to devise some ways to be able to create offense. Imagine if he had some receivers to throw to.
Okay, but again, the question is he a great quarterback even with weapons?
No, he's not. He's not. He's
so
never
do you want to lock into him long term?
But you're not. Well, no. If I can get him for 2 years at $40 million, that could buy me a couple of years of competitive football until I can figure out who my next quarterback is. He's not Mahomes, but who is? Is there a free agent out there? Are they going to be able to lure Jackson away from Baltimore and sign with the Giants? Are they getting Garoppolo? It looks like he's going to end up having to stay in San Francisco, right? So who am I getting? Who's out there? Am I going to go out and get Teddy Bridgewater? Is he going to be any better than Jones is? And they're not going to have a draft pick because of the 7 wins they already have to go out and get a top 5 pick.
Yep.
So the devil that you know. But I'm not giving him some 5-year contract at $125 million. But if I can get him for a couple of years at maybe under what does Baker Mayfield make, like $15 million a year?
Right, he'll be a free agent.
So what if I get Jones for like 19 or 20? Would that be worth it for the next couple of years?
I don't know. But if you're putting Jones there in the next couple of years, is he leading you to a Super Bowl?
Well, but what quarterback is?
I don't know.
So I don't know. So you wait, I don't know, versus Jones, who won 7 of his first 9 games without any weapons. And now in free agency, I can get him some weapons. Can I then become a playoff team? See, you want to win a Super Bowl, Michael, but where's this quarterback coming from?
But of all the sports, putting a 1-loss record on a quarterback is really sketchy times. I mean, there's so much that have to go right. I mean, that you could win games and the quarterback doesn't have anything to do with it other than the fact they didn't turn the ball over. That's what we saw with Zach. He's 5-2. Has he played great?
No.
So Daniel Jones is 7-3. Has he played great in any of the games? Has he carried them in any of the games?
I think he has a lot to do with them winning 7 of their first 9 games.
I think it's all Barkley.
You don't think he has done things with his legs? Again, he's got no weapons,
Yes.
and he's the quarterback of a team that won 7 games. I'm with you. He's not an MVP, but where are you getting the MVP? Are they going to have a top pick? No.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of picks, and maybe they could trade up to get a top pick. Maybe there's a team that finishes that. Jacksonville's not going to have a good year. They have their quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. So you make a trade with somebody like them.
Yeah, and maybe you can make that, or maybe they decide that I think that maybe we can work. Obviously, they don't believe in Jones. Otherwise, they would have given him the 5th-year option. They didn't do that.
Right, and the best thing I think you do with Barkley, in my opinion, is just franchise him twice.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because you'll get him cheap.
Right, franchise
what are you
him
getting?
twice.
$9-10 million,
and then you're going to run out of time that you would give a running back a lot of money anyway.
And again, how is that going to look at the end of the season if all they do is stuff Barkley and he ends up being much like he was against Detroit? Are you going to be so hot to have to give him a contract? Now, the Giants did talk to him during the bye, so they wanted him back. Let's see if that changes over the next 7 weeks.
All right, that's the Big Blue Report, and a very good one of that.
What a report.
Brought to you by 2 by London, the engagement shop by London Jewelers. Pick or design the perfect engagement ring to fit every budget at any of their 6 area locations. Let me tell you something. With the holidays coming up, a lot of people buy jewelry. It's not just engagement rings. Go to London Jewelers. They're great.
Oh, yeah.
People are great. They're beautiful people.
Maybe you go get your grill there.
Yeah, I wonder if they could sell me a grill.
That would be an interesting question.
I just remember that when I walked into that store to buy the engagement ring for Jody,
you were petrified.
I had flop sweat like you wouldn't believe.
I didn't.
I mean, pouring sweat.
Really?
I never understood.
I skipped into the jewelry store. Couldn't wait to buy it because I knew I was making the most the intelligent decision I ever made.
But you knew me 10 years before that decision. I never wanted to get married in my life.
This feeds into the arrangement part of things.
Why were you nervous to buy the ring, though? I understand.
First of all, it was a lot of money.
Well, I understand nerves about popping the question. I was nervous that day.
No, I didn't. I wasn't that nervous. Spending the money in the ring.
That's what really got you.
Sickened me, really.
You know what?
But they were so great, and they calmed me down, and they gave me soda. Yeah, I looked like I was going to pass out. They were like a family at London Jewelers. So if you need something for the holidays, that's the place to go.
I like when you hear that story, Don. It sounds like he's talking about, back in the day when he got engaged, when he was 25 years old. I mean, he was 50 years old.
It was 7 minutes ago.
49, I think.
49 years old.
Yeah.
Just a spring chicken. Now, in ENN, not only do we have a ton of stories, ton of audio, I think we finally got to recap a little bit from Friday.
What do you want? This is your video.
Michael,
I don't tell you
the
what to
fact
do.
that we avoided it kind of comes across like we didn't enjoy ourselves, and it was one of the greatest days of my life.
See,
and it was probably the best thing that this station's ever done in 20 years.
Ever.
And we need to break that down during ENN.
No, we'll break it down for the people. ENN, no bigger ENN than the one after the 20th anniversary 20th anniversary Bacchanal. But before that, I do want to give something away.
Sure.
Here's your chance to score a pair of tickets to see your New York Jets take on the Chicago Bears, plus a Darrelle Revis jersey celebration of his induction to the Jets Ring of Honor. You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. So be caller number 7 right now at 888-987-ESPN to win. Brought to you by the New York Jets. Come out to MetLife Stadium on Sunday, November 27th at 1 p.m. to see the Jets host the Bears in a Thanksgiving weekend showdown presented by JetBlue. Lock in your seats at nyjets.com/ticket for full contest rules. Go to ESPNNewYork.com. Peter with ENN coming up in just a moment right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Hey, big man. Hey. Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
It's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just going to keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
Tired of food storage containers that clutter up your fridge and cabinets?
Fed up with cling wrap and foil that doesn't keep your food fresh?
Well, now you can go ahead and forget about it. George and Mary Beth here with another incredible invention.
Skinny Stacks, the all-new tray storage system that keeps your food fresher longer. So you simply put your food in the tray and snap, it's closed.
Then set the freshness tracker. Now, stale, dried-up food is a thing of the past.
And freezer burn?
Forget about it.
Look, ordinary containers, foil, or cling wrap allows air to get inside and spoil your food. But the unique silicone cover on the Skinny Stacks stretches to fit over your food, pushing air out and locking in freshness with an airtight seal. You can really see the difference. This super stretchy silicone lid stretches to fit virtually any kind of food, like these avocados.
And this thick-cut watermelon. And how about this huge grapefruit?
How about this entire chicken? And the stackable design lets you neatly store just about anything. Take your fridge from this to this.
Use Skinny Stacks to take your snacks and foods to parties.
Just remove the lid and serve from the tray. It's perfect for taking meat from the fridge straight to the grill the easy way.
And the see-through lid makes it easy to see what's inside.
Plus, the tray is microwave safe and cleanup's a breeze because they're dishwasher safe.
Skinny Stack's stackable design will save you space in your fridge and cabinets.
Keep your food fresh the easy way with Skinny Stacks.
Call or go online now and get your Skinny Stack storage trays for just $19.99. But order right now and we'll double the offer. As a bonus, use the promo code on your screen and we'll give you 50% off a second set of Skinny Stacks. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 sets of Skinny Stacks, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-903-8914 or go online at skinnystacks.com now.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. But we didn't stop with shirts. We also created so much more, from polos to sweaters to pants. We even have a line just for her, so everyone can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Shop our Thanksgiving weekend sale at untuckit.com today.
When you support City Harvest, you feed hope, love, and joy. You feed confidence, community, and comfort. You feed health, strength, and spirit. When you support City Harvest, you do more than just provide hundreds of millions of pounds of food to millions of hungry New Yorkers. When you support City Harvest, you feed good.
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick-and-play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
100% of families battling cancer need hope. That's why my family and I established the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. Our mission is to provide both financial and emotional support to families facing a pediatric cancer diagnosis. We provide direct grants to families to pay everyday household expenses, as well as one-of-a-kind experiences so children can look back on their treatment and have something to smile about. Please join us in our fight to help us knock cancer out of the park.
And to Don. Oh my God! And to Don again.
I think Rocky's made Bear dumb.
And to Michael.
I had flop sweat like you wouldn't believe.
Good evening to myself.
Get your pizza ready to put upon chest.
And good evening to myself.
And I know.
Oh, to Don. That's Don, not Peter. And good evening to all of us.
Lady in Red.
Wow.
I love that song.
And Bob Sala.
What the F?
I could do something.
Hey, we keep doing this. We might have a coach's bracket, right? We've got Boone. We've got Sala. I'm sure Bill Parcells said something.
He called you Mike.
Yeah, he said Mike.
And, of course, good evening to me.
Really? You're going to hang on the rim on this week?
Oh, Don. Would Michael be hanging on the rim today?
No, not off a week like that. Tina should be insulted that you'd use her like
this. If no one made a move on Michael, Don, and he was just hanging out in the lead.
I've seen it before.
Of course you've seen it.
You've had to pick the Commanders in more than half of the picks now.
Oh, yeah. I have.
You're doing it every week.
Yeah, so you can't be proud of yourself.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys. Get ready.
I'm going to pick him again.
Don't think I'm picking him this week.
Oh, really? Well, because you're going. We're all. I'm
all Thanksgiving.
I say we're all Thanksgiving.
I'll give you my picks right now.
I don't even do. I'm not doing one Thanksgiving game.
I'm doing all three.
All right, good for you.
I might do it before the ENN's over.
By the way, I'll do it right now, Don. You want to do it? Well, we might have the same picks. I think we're going to have the exact same picks.
It's not going to be moving. Michael's going to be sweating because
it'll make it a big day for Michael.
We're going to be in lockstep, and he could be in trouble.
Or the opposite. Or the big opening.
But he still will sweat out. That will ruin his Thanksgiving. You'll want to make picks.
Oh, yeah, Michael, you know what? You might as well make the picks. Because you're going to be watching the game. If we both pick all three, then you're invested in all three anyway.
You're correct.
So we might as well all throw down a Thanksgiving bacchanal.
All three.
Well, I'm going to watch the games whether I was on a radio show or not and doing a silly bet segment.
Me too.
That's Thanksgiving. Yeah. That's what the program's for.
That's right.
That Patriots-Viking game you might have laid out on. Might have.
No, I think that's a very interesting game.
It's intriguing. I find it intriguing. But I'll tell you
what. Who are the Vikings? Tell me, who are they?
I don't know what the Patriots are.
Right. That's why it's intriguing. There goes the intrigue.
But 3-0 at the half, you're going to check out. But now you've got to watch the entire second half because...
Yeah, like you normally 3-0, you're flipping.
Because what Peter and I plan on doing is making the late game the 3-point play.
Oh, really?
Build up to it. 1, 2, 3. Now he's going to stay up. That game goes into overtime. It's 11:45. The tryptophan kicks in. He's falling asleep.
I think my favorite game is actually the first game.
The old Lions?
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you want.
You know what? I will. But I don't like the Commanders. The Commanders are 4-point favorites at home. That's
over who?
Atlanta.
Atlanta's tough.
I know. That's
you don't mess with Marcus Mariota.
That's fine. That's the Commanders finally getting
a real team to play.
Well, no, a line of a team that they think they can win. People think they can now win games. And I don't like them in that spot.
Yeah, I hope they keep winning. And Daniel says, I want to hold on to this.
Did you guys think at any point yesterday when you were watching the scores, though, wow, Peter's got an easy one with the Commanders today?
I thought about it immediately.
Right. The pick six to start the game?
First quarter, I said, this jerk won again.
14-0 out of the gate. Oh,
Fun with Numbers has broke it down. 7 of the 11 weeks you've went with the Commanders.
Gone with them.
And
he went with them.
No, he didn't went with them.
I'll speak my language. You speak yours. And then guess what? The check won't change on Thursday. They'll give us the same amount of money.
No, they won't.
No, but in relation to what was said before then.
What do you mean?
But the fact that I went gone, it's not going to affect my paycheck.
Maybe
it didn't affect yours. And if you said went and I said gone, they wouldn't take any money away from you.
They might have.
Maybe we just settle with one. instead of
why? Because the people that would take the money don't know which one's right anyway.
Listen, Don, I'm just joking with you. Every single athlete says should have went.
I'm just talking extemporaneously on the show. If I'm George Plimpton, I'm doing a speech at Rutgers. You know what? I feel bad. I cry in my pillow.
Plimpton at Rutgers? Why not at Ramapo?
Because
why were you dancing with the Fordham Ram the other day?
Why not? It was fun.
That was a great moment.
I was erring on the side of that it was a woman in the mascot costume. Not that it matters, but still, I think
that's what you were feeling.
I was feeling.
So you thought it was a you, not a ram.
I would like to.
EWE.
I'd like to predict it was definitely a man inside that.
I don't know. We can get confirmation, Anthony.
Now they have yet. When I went to Fordham,
I thought it was a real ram.
It was a different ram, and it stunk to high heaven.
Oh, Testudo stunk.
Who's Testudo?
He's the Terrapin.
Testudo?
Testudo.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Why Testudo?
That's his name. It's Testudo.
Yeah, but it has to come from something. This is the Fordham Ram.
Yeah, because it's not a real.
What's a Fordham Ram?
The Rams is their mascot.
Right. Well,
but Testudo is what?
That's the name of
the turtle.
Yeah.
And he's asking why.
But why is it Testudo?
What does Testudo mean?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Is it turtle in Spanish?
No, it's not. That's Tortuga.
Okay.
Let's see. Testudo. And Testudo sits right on the mall at Maryland. Everyone rubs his nose when you walk by.
Did you actually do that?
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like something you would take part in.
Of course I did.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All this stuff, Maryland. They're only down by 3 to Ohio State.
It means tortoise.
No.
It means tortoise in Latin.
Well, there you go. There was a reason.
Yeah.
Some clown didn't say, let's name him Tortugo. It actually means something.
Testudo. Not Tortugo. His name's not Tortugo, you animal.
Tartufo, though, is a great dessert.
Well, shouldn't have been.
Oh, there's Don dancing with the.
Shouldn't it be Ortiste if it's in Latin?
I love that video.
No, that's pig Latin.
I love the video of Don dancing with the
like
ring.
John Butcher dress.
I love it. Honestly, I want to make that. I want to make that into an NFT.
But you get the feel that it's a woman in there? If I feel bad if it's a guy, but I got a sense that it was the rhythm of a woman.
I'm going to text Edward Cull, the athletic director for him, and see if that's a woman or a man.
Find out.
Greek, very petite.
And Greek,
guy.
send me the video of that, please. I want to post that. I love it. Also, while we're at it, it was a terrific night, Friday night. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed the entire presentation.
Yeah, it was one of the events I was telling Peter during the break that there was really nothing to complain about.
And we're the first ones who
the first one to point out flaws. It was great. I thought everybody was money.
Promotions team did great.
Fans were tremendous.
Ryan Hurley and John Winthrop did a great job putting it together.
And they put a lot of effort into it, all kidding aside.
No, they really did. They put in a ton of effort. And let's be honest, guys. Just tell me the truth right now.
Always.
Oh, but this is the thing I just forgot that I wanted to ask Don. I say this following with all due respect. All due respect. Where was your good-for-nothing brother?
Don't even do it with respect.
Because you show up to everything for him. You'd show up to the opening of a Grand Union where he's selling his barbecue sauce. Where was he on your 20th anniversary? I never saw him.
He called me earlier in the day to say he just couldn't make it work because he had an AEW event at The Rock on Saturday, so he was going to be gone all day. And they were hosting a pre-Thanksgiving for us on Sunday at his house, and there just wasn't enough time.
Total Tartufo.
Is that what you think?
Oh, crap.
But you just can't let your wife just do everything when there's you got to clean up the house, there's food to make.
I know, but
they're making food on Friday for Sunday.
And listen, he lives way up in Sussex County.
Right.
It's an hour and a half, no traffic into the city. And to get to Times Square for an event,
I get
between
it.
3 and 7,
I
3
get
and
it.
9.
But he didn't move farther away in the time that he committed to do it.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Jody was there. It's a long ride for her.
Well, he couldn't make it, and I
accepted
his reasoning.
No, you let him off the hook. No you have no problem at all.
I mean, I would have liked him to be there, but I understood.
Well,
now
you should not now go to his next thing.
Speaking of wrestling, though, guys, tell me the truth.
He was great.
How great was Seth?
Seth Rollins, well, a nice guy, very handsome. Too.
Handsome, nice, and Don. He was a terrific interview, though, right?
Very good.
I shout out to
very
Seth.
Impressive guy, fun. He got it
right away. He really did. If you haven't seen it yet, go listen to the podcast.
Is that his dance he does too? Like when he came out?
Yeah. That's
I was so into it.
You like the dance.
Oh, my goodness. I said, this guy's got style.
By the way, we should also shout out Joey Salvia, who did a terrific job as well.
Okay.
Who do you think was the best toaster?
Rick was pretty good.
Rick was really good.
But
I got to tell you,
he also went to the roast area.
Yeah.
You mean roasted?
Yeah. No. He was roasting people. I mean,
yeah.
It was not supposed to be a roast.
He was toasted,
Right.
and he was a roast.
But it's unfair because I think Dave and Chris tried to stay within the parameters.
And he broke through.
So he broke through, so it makes it look like he did a better job. But I got to tell you how synchronized they were, Carlin and Rothenberg. You could tell.
So this is the line from Chris Carlin, and like, listen, Rick stole the show. We knew Rick was the last. They made him the headliner basically, and Rick brought it. You know, he was insulting and nasty to me and Don,
right,
and very soft on Michael, but still was very good. But Chris and Dave were going back and forth, and then towards the end, Chris said about Michael is simply the best sports talk show host in all of New York. In fact, some would say he's the Gary Cohen of sports talk show hosts.
Yeah, and that seemed like it made both of you very giddy.
That was a great line.
You know what?
That's what a toast roast is supposed to be.
That's right.
Well, I don't know if you were part of this. Like after Rick did the toast roast, I got up to hug him, and he full bore leaps into my arms.
I saw it. It was very strange. Now, before or after he sat on your lap?
This is after.
Okay.
He's really big. I mean, you might think he is, but he's all muscle.
He is all muscle.
And as he's jumping into my arms, I said, I'm going to fall. I did everything in my power, everything in my 61 years of age. Don't go down. Don't go down.
Wow.
And I didn't go down. But that night, I thought I had a cracked back. I told Jody, I said, get ready. You might have to take me to the hospital.
So just to summarize, your night with Rick did not involve you going down, but you did end up with a cracked back.
Yeah.
Interesting night, Don. Interesting celebration. How bad was this pain?
It was. I felt it in my legs. I said, he cracked a vertebrae. I know it. I mean, and if you look at the picture too, it's remarkably like Yogi leaping into Don Larson's arms.
He cracked a vertebrae.
He really did.
He must have really been going to town.
Oh, you know what Rick said about the two roasters?
What?
He said when you drone on for 45 minutes, you're bound to stumble into a good one.
It went a little. It was a
For
little.
somebody that was so concerned about giving 20 minutes, Carlin gave double that and more.
Oh, yeah, he gave a lot. He did.
We weren't able to ask our Stump Rothenberg.
We didn't do Stump Rothenberg. By the way, Chris Mad Dog Russo is terrific with us. My favorite thing about Chris is that it wasn't under the guise of he was supposed to be asking us questions. That was like what the idea was.
Right.
I swear to God, the only question he asked 4 different times, the same question 4 ways. So, 20 years, guys, huh? 20 years?
You know what got me though? I wonder if it really bothered Don.
When he kept saying he had no idea Don was on the show.
Right, and I kept saying that Don is the heartbeat of the show.
I got to tell you, Michael, I'm very surprised.
I'm surprised at that, Mikey.
I didn't know Don was such a big part of the show.
Well, but he does have an excuse. He's on opposite us.
Absolutely.
Right. And the name would give you no indication I exist.
Oh, here we go. Did you read the Neil Best story? I don't even like to say that guy's name out. It's like saying Beetlejuice.
No, why? Was it a nice story?
He kept bringing up the name, not a Beatle.
I was asked about how you feel about
said,
the name.
you know what, that's nonsense, Neil. Let's move on. Don't try to stir it up between me and my guy.
Is that what you did?
No, I didn't do that.
No, he gave, it should be there. I don't know if it's Michael or management.
I still don't know.
Well, you gave him the truth.
Oh, he gave him the truth, yeah. Don't
But
worry.
I said at the end
Your
of the
name
day,
will be on the show very shortly.
And I said at the end of the day, it's all ego. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
which
but
is
you
true.
obviously have an ego.
Well, that's right.
No, I've said it on the air. It's not a big deal, but it does bother me.
Then it's a big deal. I don't
No,
want
it's
you to
only
be
a big
bothered.
deal if I'm like screaming to management,
You
protesting
should.
outside.
You should scream to management.
Writing
I have
letters
nothing
to
to do with the name of the show. You should scream to management. You should do it.
No.
You should swing it around
I really
like
believe-
a lariat. You should.
I think it's you, though.
No, it's not me. It is not me.
You've never put the kibosh.
Never. Ever,
As
ever,
God is
ever.
your witness?
No, as God is my... It has never been brought up to me, can we put Don's name on the air? And I said, no, never.
I mean, you don't believe him? I think it's very convincing.
You don't believe that?
No.
Oh my God, it's so true.
You think that they've went to him? They said, Michael, we're
They've gone to
considering.
Thank you, Peter.
All right.
Great.
You know what? I'm moving on now.
No, I've had management come to me and say, "Can you convince Michael to put your name?"
No, that's not
But
true.
you've also said over and over what filthy liars
I
management
know.
is.
I know.
Wait, that's true? What you just said?
No, I swear to God.
Management's come to you and
And
said,
Management
has
came to me
never
and
come
said,
to
"When
me.
is your name going to go on the show? When is Michael going to let you?"
Who's this management liar, little filthy animal? Who is it?
Well, now that you paint it, I was going to tell you, but now that you paint it in that fashion, Dave Roberts.
Wow. Dave Roberts never, and I love Dave Roberts, never came to me and said, have Don's
No,
name on the show.
he came to me to go to you. That's also the way management works.
wow, this is fascinating and illuminating. Best might have to try to follow up.
No, I'm good, though.
Well, don't say that name 3 times.
Is it turtle in Spanish?
No, it's not. That's Tortuga.
You said you liked the article.
It was a good article, considering it's a terrible reporter, but it was a good article. What?
I consider it was a hit piece.
It's always a hit piece. Anything he does has to have some negative aspect
course.
toward me. Can you
Testudo
imagine?
stunk.
This, I thought about this.
He's the terrapin.
If let's say somebody from another station, like the one we compete against, actually filled a Broadway theater, I mean, there'd be front page stories. It wasn't even mentioned in the New York Post. The thing wasn't mentioned in the Post.
Yo, honestly, if Carton was having a flatulence contest in Times Square,
right,
it would get a nice Marchand article about
Well, how about
the wacky things they're up to
How
over there.
about, Francesa?
Oh,
I mean, it'd be a pullout.
If Francesa,
it would be a pullout in the Post.
If Francesa could just even make it through a Friday show without nodding off, he gets a full section in the paper the next day.
New York.
No one reported on it at all?
No, didn't happen. It happened on Broadway, full house, not a word.
Jason Barrett.
You know what? Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Jason Barrett was there, and Raceman mentioned it in passing this weekend in
did
ripping
he?
Michael.
He ripped me? What did he say?
Well, stand by. I'll get it for you.
So the only way the anniversary got mentioned was in Michael being ripped by Raceman?
Yes.
What was they ripped about? What did I do wrong?
I don't think it's anything no, it wasn't anything you did wrong. It was just an observation of his. Okay. I'm gonna punt. Oh, don't make me pay.
Oh, that's the problem.
No. The Daily News should.
Daily News is a pay site. It's a pay.
Yeah, but I I'll do it on the phone.
All right.
I do pay for it.
Oh,
but
you do?
not
All
on this
right.
computer.
Well, while you're doing that, we'll get right back to this.
Bob's my guy.
Bob's your guy. Let's go to.
So that's why he rips me. Because you probably
No,
leak
it's not.
himself.
It's not. No. Well, really, really,
Yeah.
really.
Let's really lift his skirt up.
You think I feed Bob stuff?
I think so. Why
Wouldn't
does he
feed
like you
anybody
so
anymore.
much?
Everything's
Why does he
getting-
like you so much?
Everything's getting out today. Wow.
The beginning of the 20 years. Beginning of the end.
That's what's supposed to happen after the anniversary.
Because he does a whole big thing on Cower.
Of course he does.
Ripping the Saturday hire.
Okay. Of course.
Oh, come on, man. I hate the phone.
He did a thing on Cower or Cowherd?
Cower.
Okay.
Bill Cower.
Bill Cower ripping Saturday. Okay.
Right, because he said it was an insult to coaches. And
Don reading this on the air right now is tripling the people at Reddit.
That is true, by the way.
Could it be the secret of keeping the Michael K. Show on the air for 20 years and counting? Is the host treating callers like dirt? Some listeners to ESPN 98.7 might actually find this entertaining, like last week when a caller accused Kay of jinxing no-hitters. Kay responded by calling the fan a fool. Must be Big Head's way of making friends.
So clever. What a clever writer. Big Head. How did you come up with that? How about ugly face?
But he
You're
did
ugly
mention
face.
we were on the air
ugly
for-
face with a fat mustache. That's my new name for you, you clown. Ugly face with a fat mustache.
But he did mention that we've been on the air for 20 years.
What, that was it?
That was.
He didn't mention there was an event,
No,
Don.
he didn't mention the event. But I'm saying the closest thing we got was Bob in passing mentioning 20 years. Got nothing from Andrew. Got nothing from.
So I was supposed to sit there
Mushnick.
as a supplicant, as the guy said that I jinx no-hitters.
Yeah.
He was a fool. A fool. A moron. A jerk. Anybody who thinks that is an idiot.
I agree.
I got confirmation from Edward Cole, the great athletic director of Fordham, female, Ram.
Okay.
Well, Mike, you know what that means? Don has such Kavorka. He even knew that the Ram was feeling his vibe.
But here's the amazing thing, Peter.
That's all I wanted
the
was
amazing thing. The guy would not get up and dance at my wedding.
That is a great point.
But he danced with a fake ram.
And you know what? And look at the hits. Last I saw, it had like 10,000 views.
By the way, that is a great point.
Yeah.
And you did a gritty.
Yeah, I did do a gritty.
I think calling it a gritty is a bit much.
It was a gritty.
It was
gritty.
It was a very gritty.
Well, I not that it mattered whether it was a man or a woman in the mascot, but I clearly got a vibe. And I wanted to know from who.
What do you mean you got a vibe?
I got a vibe.
So
there was a connection.
Nancy should have been jealous
of the
ram. No, we were just dancing.
No, you were grooving with her.
Hey, listen, I can't help that I can groove.
But you were feeling the ram.
Wouldn't get up at my wedding. Wouldn't get up.
But got on stage.
There was a guy that was in a wheelchair at the wedding. Got
but
up
again,
and danced.
Nancy didn't want to dance.
Yep.
Was I supposed to go out there by myself and dance?
Well, you danced at RJ's wedding with Jody. You had no problem with that.
Would you want me to cut in on the day of the wedding?
Yeah, it's a bit
Well,
much.
there are other women to cut in on.
But I didn't know a lot of the women.
You knew enough.
If you invited the ram to your wedding.
But I thought Michael would appreciate the irony of me cutting in at RJ's wedding with Jody when I didn't dance at his wedding.
Big head, so clever. Ugly face with a fat mustache. He's really, really Hemingway.
Well,
he really is. You wonder why he's gone so far.
And if
in
you
his
want to know
career.
why I like
Big
Bob,
head.
if you want to know why I like Bob, seriously,
Yeah,
I
I'd
will
like to
feed him
know.
information.
Right. Sounds
because
like you do.
whenever the Michael K. Show is mentioned in his article, he'll always say with Don LaGreca and Peter Rosenberg, even if it has nothing to do with
Isn't
us.
he also the guy who called you training wheels?
Oh yeah.
So
I'm not saying that the relationship hasn't had its ups and downs, but compared to the other yo-yos, I like Bob.
So forced to choose a yo-yo, he's the yo-yo of your choice.
Andrew doesn't know we're on the show.
He knows you're on the show. He chooses not to mention it.
So that's even worse. I'd rather him just not know, because then it'd be ignorance. This is strategic by him.
Ugly face with a fat mustache. That's his new name.
So this is a first in ENN history, which is always great, the immediate ENN after the 20th anniversary. We haven't done one story yet, so let's take a break.
Sorry. I
Let's
think
take
it
a
deserved
break.
conversation.
I agree.
Well, especially after Michael's like he didn't want to talk about it, like it was something negative.
So if you guys are all right with it, let's pick up ENN next, shall we? I'll take that as a yes.
I'm sorry. I was
yes, and 98.7 ESPN.
Sabrina Ionescu has just accomplished a triple-double, getting her 10th rebound, and she hits the three! Oh, baby!
Yeah, I'm excited, but I think I'm more excited that we got a win. You know, it really takes a whole team effort. It's not just me. It's everyone getting in position to score and rebound. So I'm just really proud of this team and how we fought tonight.
I got a load full of paprika, garlic, black pepper, and salt for the all-new breading-free blackened chicken sandwich. Do you copy?
Copy that.
You think others will copy us?
Let them try.
Introducing the new blackened chicken sandwich. No breading, all flavor.
RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. I'm not sure I would still be here if I didn't find the Friends and Wounded Warrior project that I did. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. Being on the recumbent, it felt a lot like flight, and I felt like I got a piece of me back. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know it's there.
I want you all to listen up and get a load of this.
New York sportscaster Russ Salzberg brings his passion and his podcast to the Yes app.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Watch Get a Load of This, brought to you by Untuck It.
Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC. I am so excited to get into this. Let's get well, New York. Feel good. Feel set up for success. Well Life NYC, now on the Yes app.
Yeah, hey, yeah. They gon' have to build centuries in honor.
The Nets get it done the Brooklyn way.
Scotty Barnes, ridiculous. We ain't backing down. That's a promise. That's a promise.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
And parents of sick children have tons of decisions to make. Like movie night, game night, or should we finish that book tonight? We don't perform surgeries, just talent shows. We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. Well, we have a few beeping machines. We think the tooth fairy should travel everywhere. And while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. We don't provide treatment, but we do provide dogs. And we throw some really good parties. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick and play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand and dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Get 2.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Forte.
At Domino's, next time you order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each, you could be in for a shock. Because Domino's is now delivering pizza with new electric vehicles across the country. With over 100 EVs on the road today and hundreds more to come. It's good for pizza delivery and better for the planet. You're good. I'm great.
Zaya, you can skip making your bed. But Dwayne and I decided not to skip the doctor for our kids.
Doctors are doing a lot to keep their offices as safe as possible.
Thank you. Talk to your preteen's doctor about scheduling their well visit and recommended vaccinations. Let's go.
When I was younger, I may have did some stupid things. Even committed some crimes. Even got shot. But I'm not a criminal.
I work for youth advocate programs, yeah. I was Tamani's advocate, helping him stay out of jail, stay in the neighborhood, and get a job.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. I made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
Lots of times I'm told what I can't do. What's impossible for people like me is enough to make you lose hope. But I am not hopeless.
No way. We're working together to help Gavin see his talents and his future.
YAP is a community-based alternative to youth incarceration, congregate placement, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, 86% of participants were living in their communities, arrest-free.
And now, I'm a YAP advocate, helping kids like me find a better way.
Youth advocate programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen.
Want to get into some ENN?
Do it.
You mean not like ugly face with a fat mustache?
No, we can play that too.
Ugly face with a fat mustache. Big head. So clever.
So you could have went fat face
Could've
with an
gone.
ugly mustache. But you went
No,
ugly.
he doesn't have a fat face. He's very well built. So it's an ugly face with a fat mustache.
You know what? We can do a whole new good evenings to start this ENN. Finish this happening. I'll start here. Good evening to Michael and myself. Testudo stunk.
Who's Testudo?
He's the Terrapin. And to Don and myself.
Is it turtle in Spanish?
No, it's not. That's Tortuga. And to Michael.
He cracked a vertebrae. I know it.
And to Don.
Oh, don't make me pay.
And to Michael.
Ugly face with a fat mustache.
Now, one thing we have not talked about all day today, which has been sort of refreshing, is Kyrie Irving, who returned to the Nets yesterday. And in doing so, the Nets earned themselves a quality victory at the Barclays Center. Here is another apology from Kyrie Irving.
I don't have hate in my heart for the Jewish people or anyone that identifies as a Jew. I'm not anti-Jewish or any of that. And it's been difficult to sit at home with my family with them seeing all of this and having questions. You know, the part that hasn't been hard is explaining myself because I know who I am and I know what I represent. But I think the difficult aspect is just processing all this, understanding the power of my voice, the influence I have. I'm no one's idol, but I am a human being that wants to make impact and change. I'm sorry to not only the Jewish community, but to my family members and to my relatives, because they know I stand for something bigger, and I'm grateful now I get to explain myself.
He went on to talk a bit more.
With all that being said, I just want to offer my deep apologies to all those who are impacted over these last few weeks, specifically my Jewish relatives, my black relatives, you know, all races and cultures. I feel like we all felt the impact, and I don't stand for anything close to hate speech or anti-Semitism or anything that is going against the human race. I feel like we all should have an opportunity to...
Now as it was then, because you know, no DH, stuff like that. So I would bounce stuff off him and Mel Stottlemyre, who was... you know, aces, obviously. But it was really, player-wise, you know, you had Paul O'Neill, who I was familiar with. He was in the National League. You know, and other than that, Tino came over, you know, because Donnie had retired. And I was just doing it by feel at this point in time. And I can tell you one thing about Derek. You mentioned Derek's name. By August of '96, his first full year, the veteran players were looking for him to do something. You know, they would. You know, he was leading by that time, and again, not by doing anything other than playing every day and being ready to play every day.
Now, one of the genius moves that you made, I thought, because I covered the team.
Only one.
One of them, I said.
One of.
One of them, because I covered Billy and Lou and Buck, and what I saw with all three of those guys is that they worried about the phone call from George Steinbrenner, and it ruined their day. And you, Joe's told these stories before. If you lost 3 in a row, you would call George Steinbrenner instead of waiting for the phone call. And I thought that was the genius way of dealing with it.
Well, first off, you know, I played for three teams in my career. I managed those 3 teams in my career, and I was fired by those 3 teams in my career. I mean, what was George going to do? Fire me? I mean, that's you know, my brother Frank, you know, said you got to be crazy because, you know, you realize how many managers this guy has gone through. But it just had it in my head. You know, I felt like I did a good job as a manager. You know, we went to the playoffs in '82 with the Atlanta Braves. But there was really never anything that was overly significant to qualify me, in other words, as a good manager, because they, you know, it's all about, you know, statistics. And I just said, I want to find out if I can do this, and I know George wants to win badly, and he will, you know, supply with the players. And, you know, sometimes he went overboard. You know, he would claim players off waivers just so another team couldn't get them. You know, even though you didn't need them. And
did you guys ever have shouting matches with each other?
Yeah, just the one, and I forgot one of the pitcher. Who was it? You may remember this. We were sending a pitcher down just to get himself back. And I was under the assumption we were sending him to AAA, and they would decide to send him down to Billy Connors down in Florida. And I just didn't know about it, you know, and that's the only thing that bothered me. Here I am talking to the press about certain things. Not that I cared if he went one place or the other, but I didn't know. And the other thing was when we, what was it, in 2000, we claimed Canseco.
Right.
All right, I call Jose, and I'll tell you, he was very easy to manage, believe it or not, because I called him in first day, and it was one of those irrevocable, you know, waiver things. Once you claim, you can't change, or the team can't change it back, and you can't change your mind. But George was afraid somebody else was going to get the benefit of what Jose could do. So I called Jose in the office. I said, I'm going to do the best I can to get you some at-bats. I said, but you're not going to play every day. And, you know, and he said, well, I think, you know, you're making a mistake, blah, blah, blah. But he respected my opinion, which is all I could ask for.
Right.
And the satisfying thing for me when, you know, you look back and you look at the video from when we won the World Series there in Game 5, he was the first one on the pile out on the pitcher's mound.
Wow.
Which was pretty cool. He was a good teammate. I mean, he wanted to play more, but you know, we had a pretty good team.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite championship?
96 has to be.
But you're wearing the 98 ring.
I know, I can't find my 96 ring.
But you have so many of them.
It's in the house somewhere. But no, I change it off once in a while. But the 96 team, first of all, was my first year with the Yankees. We weren't necessarily a favorite to do what we did. And I remember the first half of the year, you know, Joe Girardi was batting second in the lineup, and we'd squeeze bunt, which was driving George nuts, you know, because he wants to beat teams by 10 or 12 runs a day. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he says, I think you're doing this with mirrors, you know, and all that good stuff. But I think the 96 team really had this grit about them that was pretty special. I mean, that was a unit out there that was very special. I mean, I remember the one change we made, aside from getting Darryl at the All-Star break, was it was a game in Seattle, and Ruben Sierra. I didn't want to play him because he was playing the outfield. Ruben was playing the outfield. I started in spring training. I didn't want to be locked in to any one player as a DH. Mm-hmm. So I wanted him to play the outfield, and he was fine with it. But there's one game, and I forgot who the pitcher was for Seattle, and it wasn't like I looked at the numbers, the stats, and he was 0 for something or 1 for 15, but there were a bunch of strikeouts. Mm-hmm. So that just stood out to me that, you know, he probably doesn't see this guy too well. And so I called him in and I said, Ruben, I said, you know, you're going to be out there tomorrow. I said, but today you don't handle this guy really well, and I'm going to play whoever I was going to play out there instead of him. He says, okay. He says, but why am I not playing? I said, well, let me do this again. And went through the whole thing with Ruben again, and he's shaking his head, and he's saying, okay. And he says, yeah, but why am I not playing? I said, well, I realized at that point in time, it wasn't that he didn't get it, he didn't want to get it.
Right.
And you know, we wound up trading him to Detroit for Cecil. Yeah. And as you know what's going to happen, you know, he's going to come in with Detroit and he's going to beat our brains out, which he did. He either hit a home run, the double or something, but got the game-winning hit. And then probably my favorite quote, and you know, and obviously eventually Ruben came back, and he was a big plus to us coming off the bench. But you know, I guess the writers couldn't wait to get over there and talk to him after he beat us with a base hit. And he says, I like it over here, meaning Detroit. He says, all those guys want to do is win. If I'm going to be criticized,
guilty,
that's fine with me. And then the next day, Phil Garner, the manager, come over to me. He said, he's going to find out we want to win too.
Now, you could tell the truth now all these years later. When you first met Paul O'Neill, you couldn't have liked him, right?
When I first met Paul O'Neill, I mean, the one thing about it, I liked him because he was a good hitter. And, I got to know him later, and of course I threatened him a time or two, but he was such a good hitter. And I remember someone had said to me he was a selfish player when I came over. And I said, well, I don't like to make up my mind on somebody else's opinion. So I said, we'll see. Well, you realize the guy wanted to get 4 or 5 hits a game. And, you can be selfish all you want.
Helps the team win.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But when you think back of some of the things Paulie did during his stay here when I was here, not the least of which was this catch in right center field to end Game 5
on one leg
against the Braves. And that particular game, am I talking too much?
No.
What?
Nobody wants to hear us.
They love you, Joe.
They agree. I'm talking.
No, they want you to talk.
No, on that particular game, because you remember Andy Pettitte got beat up in Game 1, and I had come in. I had brought him in. He won 20 games that year for us, and then he came in. I said, "What happened?" He says, "I thought I had to do something more because it was the World Series. That was his first World Series." So we lose the first 2 games. Now we win, David Cohn's game, Game 3, and then Game 4 was Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, yep.
And he got beat around a little bit, and we wind up winning that one. What was it, 10-8 or something?
With the Leyritz home run.
Whatever it was.
Right.
The Leyritz tied it up, and then. Boggs walked.
You saved Boggs.
Yeah. But that particular, the Game 5, we're tied at 2 now, and it's going to be Smoltz against Pettitte. And, I know it's easy. The easy thing to do, and you won't get second guessed, is to, not play Cecil and play Tino. At first base, and because there's no DH down in that in the National League Park, but Cecil was swinging the bat better than Tino, and then the other thing was Andy Pettitte pitching, and Boggs's defense. He was limited range-wise, and Charlie Hayes, had better reach, and I called them both in, and I told them, I called Boggs in, and I called Tino in, and I told them they weren't playing, and I'm going to do this one at a time. And then I called Paul O'Neill in, and I told him he wasn't playing. And they, none of them said anything except, pretty much all. And I did it one at a time, and they just dropped their head and. Left. They weren't happy. Some were mad, some were sad. And as soon as Paul O'Neill left the room, Zimmer said to me, he says, he's been playing on one leg the whole year. He says, he probably deserves to play. And I thought about it. I said, you're right. So I called him back in. And I said, executive privilege. I said, I'm changing my mind.
Oh, he must have been thrilled.
No reaction.
No, really?
It was the same when I told him he wasn't playing.
No kidding.
He just had that poker face and he went, and walked out.
Wow.
And
now we can't shut him up in the
booth. Before we let you go real quick, just not to embarrass Michael, but it's a story he always told, and I never had a chance to ask you why.
you referred to him as Rona Barrett when you took over as Yankee man.
No, it wasn't when he took over. It was like a month in.
A month in, yeah. I just had a bad read, Michael. I had a bad read. You know, it's like that quarterback throwing the interception.
Oh, you got that one wrong.
It was just a bad read.
You know what's funny, though, about that, Joe? When you said Rona Barrett, the players had a blank stare. Only you and I knew who Rona Barrett was. Does anybody here know who Rona Barrett is?
Yeah,
not that many people.
Well, now you ask kids if they know who Bruce Springsteen is, and they say, who? You know.
Yeah, Taylor Swift they know.
That's right.
Joe,
exactly.
Last thing I got for you, are you able to sort of process that if you're able to look back at that photo of you right there on the screen, that photo, that look of you in that uniform with that hat, it is one of the truly iconic Yankee looks of all time. You will forever be associated with greatness in this franchise. Are you ever able to fully appreciate that and kind of live in it?
I appreciate it every day when people, recognize me and compliment me. I appreciate it. I'm not comfortable understanding why they do that, and I'm not just being humble at that point in time. We love you, Joe. You can't win the Derby on a quarter horse, and I had some thoroughbreds in that clubhouse. And the thing about it is they never got stopped to admire what they've accomplished because they felt they wanted to do it again. And I always had this feel that we had to get better just to stay the same. And then these guys did.
And they got you your 3 in a row and this close to 4 in a row.
Oh, boy, yeah. 4 in a row would have been nice.
Yeah. Joe, we can't, I know you came all the way in the city for this. We can't thank you enough. Really, it means a lot.
Well, it means a lot for you to invite me, Michael, and be a part of this.
Thank you so much. That's a great Joe Torre, the Hall of Famer. When we come back, one of the youngest Yankees, Oswaldo Cabrera, will join us right here at the Palladium. You're watching on Yes and listening on 98.7 ESPN.
Hey, big man. Hey. Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
It's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just going to keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price Domino's pizzas when you order online right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now? Right now.
50% off, honey! Right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
I want you all to listen up and get a load of this.
New York sportscaster Russ Salzberg brings his passion and his podcast to the Yes app.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Watch Get a Load of This, brought to you by Untuck It.
Some say this game is just putting a ball in a basket over and over and over. Nonsense. This game is hard. On and off the court. Give me the early morning practices, the pressure, the pain, and the noise. You want easy? Go take a walk. I'll take the unpredictable hard way every single time.
Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC. I am so excited to get into this. Let's get well, New York. Feel good. Feel set up for success. Well Life NYC, now on the Yes app.
Yeah, hey, yeah. You gonna step into this ring with some heavyweights. Kevin Durant putting on a show. John Morant, what a highlight. We ain't backing down. That's a promise. That's a promise.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. The truth is, Parkinson's disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them. Worldwide, over 10 million people are living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement. And with so many places to search for information, it can be difficult to know where to begin. The Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight. We can help you understand the disease, help you find expert care, give you tips for living a better life, share the latest research, help you find local support, and there's a free helpline you can call. Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's. To learn more, please go to parkinson.org or call 1-800-4PD-INFO. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Tired of food storage containers that clutter up your fridge and cabinets?
Fed up with cling wrap and foil that doesn't keep your food fresh?
Well, now you can go ahead and forget about it. George and Mary Beth here with another incredible invention.
Skinny Stacks, the all-new tray storage system that keeps your food fresher longer. So you simply put your food in the tray and snap, it's closed.
Then set the freshness tracker. Now, stale, dried up food is a thing of the past.
And freezer burn?
Forget about it.
Look, ordinary containers, foil, or cling wrap allows air to get inside and spoil your food. But the unique silicone cover on the Skinny Stacks stretches to fit over your food, pushing air out and locking in freshness with an airtight seal. You can really see the difference. The super stretchy silicone lid stretches to fit virtually any kind of food, like these avocados.
And this thick-cut watermelon. And how about this huge grapefruit?
How about this entire chicken? And the stackable design lets you neatly store just about anything. Take your fridge from this to this.
Use Skinny Stacks to take your snacks and foods to parties.
Just remove the lid and serve from the tray. It's perfect for taking meat from the fridge straight to the grill the easy way.
And the see-through lid makes it easy to see what's inside.
Plus, the tray is microwave safe. And cleanup's a breeze because they're dishwasher safe.
Skinny Stack's stackable design will save you space in your fridge and cabinets.
Keep your food fresh the easy way with Skinny Stacks.
Call or go online now and get your Skinny Stack storage trays for just $19.99. But order right now and we'll double the offer. As a bonus, use the promo code on your screen and we'll give you 50% off a second set of Skinny Stacks. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 sets of Skinny Stacks, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-903-8914 or go online at skinnystacks.com now.
The 3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back, Joyce. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
Hey everyone, I'm Ali Melendez. Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC, exclusively on the Yes app. We're taking a wellness journey to explore what New Yorkers are doing to be their happiest and healthiest selves. From workout classes, I feel good, I feel set up for success, to relaxation, to finding the proper balance. So fresh. Let's get well, New York. I am so excited to get into this. Do it. Woo! Stream new episodes of Well Life NYC now on the Yes app.
I'm an actor in an ad that was given 12 seconds to remind you that if you're high, just don't drive. Because if you feel different, you drive different. It's illegal to drive high everywhere anyway.
You're watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Michael K. Show 20th anniversary show on 98.7 ESPN is brought to you by the MoheganSunCasino.com app. Where do you play, Mohegan? Must be 21 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Very infrequently does a young man come up in the middle of a Yankee season, because the Yankees are usually about veterans, and capture the imagination of an entire fan base. This guy right here did. Ladies and gentlemen, Oswaldo Cabrera. How are you, my friend?
Everything good.
Good.
Everything good. Better now.
Was it like a dream come true?
like a kid living the dream.
Yeah?
You know? It's like a kid living the dream.
Anything take you by surprise when they called you?
Yeah. Everything.
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 Really?
Yeah. I can't imagine that gonna be like this. Yeah.
Have you sensed how the Yankee fans have really embraced you, that they really do like you?
Yeah. And that got me as a surprise too, because from the first time that I come to the field and I see everybody like in the stands calling my name, and there's things that feel in my heart like so good, and that make me feel like comfortable to play the baseball like I play.
Was there one wow moment that stands out above the rest when you look back at it?
The best moment, that was the first roll call. That was the best.
Oh, that's the one where you went like that.
I was so nervous.
Now you didn't do that the whole time afterward. You just waved after that, right? The first time was a grenade.
That was the best one.
Now, when you look at the Yankees moving forward, they're saying, Oswaldo could play all the positions. He could be a super utility guy. But do you want that, or would you rather play one position?
I like to play at all positions.
Really?
That was me in the minors. I didn't play too many times in the outfield in the minors too, but the 2-3 times that I play in the outfield, I just love it. So I like to play all around.
That's what I couldn't believe. I think that you had maybe 4 games in the outfield in the minors, and then you played in the major leagues like you've been playing there forever. How did that happen? Did you just feel comfortable out there?
I feel comfortable because I was talking with a lot of players, a lot of good players in the minors that they play in the majors as a outfield. I got my brothers playing all his life as an outfield, and he's like a mentor for me too. So when I come in there with this guy telling me all these things and the work that I was being in the minors practice during the season, when I come to play there, I just feel like, okay, I've been doing this for a long time.
What was your favorite position as a kid?
Catcher.
Really?
Catcher
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my favorite position. But my brother, I was playing with my brothers. Like 1 year played with my brother, the other year he's in the other league. So he throws so hard, and I cannot catch him. So
you said that's enough.
Yeah, I say no more.
So if they needed an emergency catcher, you couldn't do it?
I can do it.
You could do it?
If they need me, I'm ready.
That's why they love it.
That's it, Michael. If he could do that and then come in a blowout game and pitch,
right?
Then he could check every box.
That's right. You could play every single position.
You're ready for
Whatever
it.
they need
Could you pitch?
Whatever they need me,
What was it like? I mean, you were there. You had a front row seat for Judge's 60th, 61st, 62nd. What was that like to experience that?
I feel proud about him and about me to be with him in that moment, and most because he deserved all the things that happened for him right now, because he's better person than a baseball player.
Wow.
And he's a really good baseball player, so you know how good person he is.
Yeah, I keep hearing like all the young players that came in, like you were one of them, that he treated you like you'd been there for 10 years, right?
Yeah, that was a good important. Not just Judge. I think all the team, since the first time that I come to the big leagues, that guy got me like, this is your family, this is your home. And that created me like a good confidence to play.
All right, so you've seen Peraza play in the minors, and he came up toward the end. I don't know if you've seen much of Volpe, right?
No.
Okay,
Volpe.
so do you think Peraza could play in the big leagues next year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
He got the tools, and I know he's a really nice player, because I've been playing with him 2 years in a row, and he's a supernatural player.
All right, so you're up at the plate. Was there any pitcher that you faced where you stepped out and go, I'm facing this guy? I mean, was there anybody that just, wow?
From the first time, there was Kluber, my first time.
Two-time Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah. And a lot of players like Manoah, Alec, Scherzer. I said, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're young and new, but Yankees, Red Sox, that's the rivalry. But with everything going on with Houston in that clubhouse, has that team now been the most hated team for anybody putting on Yankee pinstripes?
We are ready to play for all the teams, We are not about just one team. Like we have to beat this team now. We have to beat all the team that come to play against us, and that's the mentality that we have inside of the clubhouse. It's no matter what against we are playing for, it's just like, okay, we have to win this game. We have to be in this game all the time.
Can you still feel right now, like clearly the Red Sox rivalry is not at the fevered pitch that it's been at before. It's a little bit more low key. But when you go to Fenway and you play the Red Sox, does it feel special?
It feels special.
Yeah, it feels something.
That was the first time that I was outside of the New York. I mean in the Yankee Stadium, and you can see the fans of the other team like telling, like you can feel like the people, they are Boston fans.
They say anything nasty to you?
No, all the time, but
nothing bad. Nothing can't handle.
Normal.
Yeah.
The best thing about Oswaldo, and I'm sure if there are Yankee fans out there, you realize every time he's on the field, and Peter, it's true, he's got this huge smile on his face. Like you really do appreciate being a big league player.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because that was like I say when I come here, like a kid living his dream. So all the time that I come to the field, I feel like living my dream.
Did you have a timeline for when you wanted to make it to the majors, where you thought, I'll spend this much time in the minors, then I should be in the big leagues?
I just work hard all the time in my mind. That was like my mentality. That wasn't I have to be right now in the big leagues. That was like, what can I do to be better in the position that I am right now? What can I do? What? I don't know. That I have to work hard in the league that I'm playing right now. Right. And they make the decision to send me down, send me up. I just have to play and do the things that I cannot do, you know?
This guy's going to be around a long time. He joins us on our 20th anniversary. Oswaldo Cabrera, everybody at the New York Yankees. Now, when we come back, live and in person, a Daily Don right here at the Palladium. Coming on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The history of baseball has been written largely in New York. This city of iconic images is home to a team whose symbol has come to mean much more than just the place in which it plays. Welcome to a new season. Welcome to New York Yankees baseball. Welcome to the Yes Network.
Let your queries be known.
How come we don't call ourselves bikers anymore? I mean, riders is cool, but bikers, really cool.
Seriously?
Deny. Can we go back to meeting at the rec center? The commute here is brutal.
Deny.
How do we feel about getting a quote to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer? Should Flo stop asking the same question every time?
Approved.
Denied. Whoa.
100% of families battling cancer need hope. That's why my family and I established the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. Our mission is to provide both financial and emotional support to families facing a pediatric cancer diagnosis. We provide direct grants to families to pay everyday household expenses, as well as one-of-a-kind experiences so children can look back on their treatment and have something to smile about. Please join us in our fight to help us knock cancer out of the park.
Get trending with off-field fashion as designers from FIT style celebrities from the sports world and beyond. Off-field fashion exclusively on the Yes app.
News, rumors, innuendo, all rolled into a big tasty burrito.
There are certainly a lot of question marks.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Now I'm a free agent. We'll see what happens.
There's no off-season like the baseball off-season.
Watch an all-new episode of Yankees Hot Stove, Monday at 7 on Yes and the Yes app.
The symptoms started around 2011, going through different doctors, a lot of misdiagnosis.
I struggle with tremors, double vision, brain fog, and chronic pain.
I picture myself being in this place and everything being out of reach. The MS is getting worse, and I'm still just stuck in this little body.
Primary progressive MS. It's comparable to a house where things aren't working as they should. It's not something you could sleep off. You wake up, it's still there.
When you hear about a cure, it brings that hope back.
It would mean to my kids that they get their mom back.
And people would be saying, hey, remember MS? You know what that is?
If no one would have to ever experience this, it would just change the world.
Ten years ago, we started Untuckit out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. But we didn't stop with shirts. We also created so much more, from polos to sweaters to pants. We even have a line just for her, so everyone can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Shop our Thanksgiving weekend sale at untuckit.com today.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games in the industry at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app, use the promo code, and get $50 in free casino credits when you deposit $25. Action's so good, why play blackjack anywhere else?
If you were diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call the law firm of Weitz and Luxembourg, who, for the last 30 years, has achieved record-breaking New York City mesothelioma and lung cancer verdicts for thousands of your neighbors and coworkers. It does make a difference which law firm you hire, so choose wisely and call Weitz and Luxembourg today. Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick and play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back, Joyce. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
We're doing the lists, Michael. I don't care if you don't like it.
The Daily Don.
I'll fight to the death for this list.
It's the Daily Don Show. He makes lists. Take it away, Donnie.
And today's Daily Don, driven by Nissan.
Yeah.
A live one at the Palladium on the 20th anniversary. So it's got to have something tied into the 20 years.
Has to be.
Now, when you do a sports talk show, you got to talk about certain sports figures, right?
Yeah, sure.
Polarizing guys, people that light the phones up.
Yeah.
Just throw their name out. It's going to get a reaction. It's going to get conversation. Top 5 sports figures talked about in the 20 years of the Michael Kay Show.
That ignited people.
That ignited people. It stirs conversation, debate.
And not New York athletes.
No, New York.
Only New York athletes?
They are all New York athletes.
Okay. He didn't specify.
Should I start?
Sure.
Carmelo
Anthony. Thought about it, Michael. And it's number 3.
Yeah.
Great ball. What a great ball.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys call and complain about Melo? Melo doesn't want to play with Jeremy Lin. Melo doesn't distribute the basketball. You can't win with Melo. 7 years he was here, right? Everybody that called the show complained. They all cheered him at the Garden for some reason, but everybody that called, Michael, how many conversations do we have about Melo?
Amazing. Countless. You could talk 4 hours about him.
I don't know if this one will get there.
Really?
But
Let's see.
I can only speak about my time here. And in fact, he's been coming up a lot over the last week. I'm going to throw out Mr. Odell Beckham Jr.
That's a good poll.
You thought about it.
I did think about it.
Didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Who are you taking out? We
I
don't
don't
know
know.
yet.
I don't know.
You're not taking Melo out. I can tell
No,
you that.
but Melo is going to be my first guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's quite all
It
right.
was a good poll, but Michael's was better.
Let's see. Anybody have any? What did they say?
I know. I heard.
It sounds like yeah.
How about
Yeah.
Brian Cashman?
Recently, for sure.
Right.
I didn't include Brian.
Okay.
How about friend of the show, Mr. Alex Rodriguez?
Alex Rodriguez, tremendous poll. It's number one.
Wow.
Boy, do we get it. From the fact that he's not clutch, to the PEDs, to the resurrection, to the fact he's a guest. I can't think of anybody bigger and more talked about in the 20 years than Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod is number one. So we got Melo at 3, A-Rod at 1.
How about the Wilpons?
No.
No. Just didn't even think about it, Peter.
No, I did think about
Thought about it.
I thought about ownership, but who you taking?
How about Senior Eli Manning?
Oh, Eli, man. I heard somebody say, who said Eli out there? Raise your hand.
There.
Eli's a great poll, and it's number 2. I mean, think about it. The Giants trade up for him. He has a miserable rookie season, had a 0 quarterback rating against the Ravens. Did they make a mistake? Then they go to the playoffs, but they can't win in the playoffs. Then they win a Super Bowl. And then the Eli's elite wins another Super Bowl. But then still we talk about whether he's actually still that great a quarterback. And then everything that happened with Geno Smith. We talked about Eli nonstop, basically from the day he was drafted till the day he left. Eli Manning is number 2.
All right. I mean, this is very recent, but I mean, Kyrie Irving.
You know what? Another good poll by Michael. It is recent, but my God, have we talked a lot about Kyrie over the last year. 19, not so much, but so much in the line. No, you can boo. Doesn't mean you have to like him. But who you taking out? Number 5.
That's number 5.
So how many do you have? One more?
We've got one more. Talk.
Benny.
No.
He gave us a lot to talk about.
A lot.
Always had so much going on. We couldn't help but talk about him. I don't want to give away too many hints, but
there's so much going on.
So much going on.
Give us a sport.
Football.
No.
Rex
Ryan. Great poll. From his foot fetishes, giving the finger to fans in Miami, predicting a Super Bowl before they even had players on the team. Rex Ryan, we talked about him every second that he was here. He gave us so much amazing fodder. I've got Rex at 4. So A-Rod 1, Eli 2, Carmelo 3, Rex 4, and Kyrie Irving 5.
Close out your read.
That's a good call. That's the Daily Don, driven by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you. And Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com.
Now, I've got to tell you a little something about Oswaldo Cabrera. May I?
Sure.
Please. All right, so, Don, you know this. My favorite player growing up
was Bobby Mercer.
Oswaldo Cabrera said, since this is a celebration, I want to give you this. He has a signed baseball card from Bobby Mercer.
Wow.
Wow. Class.
Let me see.
Don't drop it.
I will not.
And then he gave me one of his lucky necklaces that he makes.
Very nice.
Very nice, right?
There's got the baseballs in there.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Oh.
Did he bring me like a Cal Ripken rookie or?
I was going to say ours are probably going to come in the mail, right?
Right.
Well, he didn't know who your favorite player was.
Your LT
Ed
is
Kranepool, right?
I like Ed.
Yeah. Who was your favorite Met growing up?
Nolan Ryan.
No, you're lying. Dave
no,
Kingman.
Dave Kingman. Nolan Ryan was a better player. Dave Kingman was my favorite. I don't think he ever signed anything.
Probably
He put a rat in a box and sent it to a reporter.
You know, don't the drops hit different coming out of these speakers like that? Yeah.
They're very good.
I don't know if I like it. Let's do a very quick Big Blue report on 98.7 ESPN, driven by Ramsey Mazda. Biggest concern Sunday, Giants and the Lions.
Even though the defense is playing well, they score points, right? They score a ton of points. And there were times that the Texans had some really long drives, ran the ball very well. The Giants have been exceptional at home historically, though not so much. I don't know if the Giants... Are the Giants at a level to have a trap game?
Yeah, I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either.
I mean, if they have it, shame on them.
Shame on them. They shouldn't really be reading their press clippings at all. But, you know, this is a game that if they go in thinking, well, all we have to do is show up, we're going to beat the Lions, then I think you're going to lose. I don't think they're that type of team. I don't think Dable will allow them to be that way.
In fact, if they read their press clippings, the press clippings say, you guys aren't that talented. You need to work really hard to win every game.
Imagine if Dable was like, listen, if you read the press clippings, you're going to see it's all about me anyway. So you guys have to do a better job.
Right.
But listen, the Lions, the one thing they do well is they score a lot of points. The Giants do not score a ton. So if it becomes a track meet, then that could be a bit of a problem. So hopefully they'll be able to slow this Lions offense down with God.
Well, we'll make our picks in the 5 o'clock hour. Peter's really, behind the 8 ball.
No, he took a shot.
Took a shot.
Peter.
This is moving day. Yeah, moving weekend.
Listen, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, you lose in a 3-pointer on a Thursday.
You just go grab 3 points over the course of the weekend and know that you guys are going to miss something. You'll feel pretty good.
Well, I made the right decision because I love the Packers as well, but I laid out, and that was the smart move. That was the smart play.
They were so bad.
And you, Michael, you know what? No guts. You can be sitting there on 3 right now.
By the way, you don't get to celebrate. You're a gutless puke.
What? Wait a second.
Because you had conviction. And seemingly, and then Aaron Boone sides with you, and you're going, oh, now I'm. and we said, can I upgrade? And we said, sure, take 3. No, you didn't.
Do you know?
You shouldn't even celebrate.
Jarv from Oz, our friend who wishes to be here, but he's in Australia.
Of course.
He texted me yesterday. I'd rather be gutless and right than brave and wrong. You were brave and wrong.
I'm also in first place, so.
Yeah, that's
by a substantial margin if you're paying attention.
Well, that's the Big Blue Report driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. I want to do a quick show of hands, or you could cheer if you like. So, I mean, there's a lot of people in this room, right?
Yeah.
So the way that ratings are done in our business is people give meters. They have meters.
Yeah, I know.
Does anybody in this room have a meter? Yeah, I thought not. Yeah, I thought you love Peter.
Thank you.
Wow.
Let's go, Peter.
Speaking of which, guys, I don't know if you know this. One of the absolute best in the business today, Seth freaking Rollins, is going to be here today.
And why? And why?
Why is that?
Why is he here?
You tell me.
Who's the person that gets the assist?
You.
Well, of course. I mean, because I wasn't going to pat myself.
And one of the best, probably the best defensive rookie in all of football is going to join us in a couple of minutes. Right. Sauce Gardner.
Sauce.
Hey, this season marks the 50th anniversary of New York Islanders hockey. To help celebrate, we're giving away tickets to the November 26th matchup against the Flyers at UBS Arena. To enter, download the free ESPN New York app, scroll down to contest, submit your entry, and it's brought to you by the New York Islanders. Join in on the fun this season by grabbing your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com. For full contest rules, go to ESPNNewYork.com. When we come back, Mama has the sauce. We have the sauce. Sauce Gardner.
That's right.
Joins us in just a moment right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Here or there. Live or on the go. Day or night. Spin the reels or just chill. Hard Rock Atlantic City is everywhere. Take me to Hard Rock Online Casino and Sportsbook. Get 50 free spins and up to $1,000 bonus match. Download now.
Need arch support, but orthotics make your shoes too tight? Now there's Copperfit Arch Relief Plus, the revolutionary adjustable orthotic arch supports that form fit to your feet, not your shoes, so you can comfortably wear them in any shoes.
Every shoe that I have, it makes a difference in. Whether I'm barefoot, wearing flip-flops, basketball shoes, running shoes, they go in and they last.
I wear them around the house. I wear them in my sandals, in my bare feet. It's been amazing.
It's like a night and day difference, wearing these and not wearing them.
A copper-infused adjustable compression band with a built-in semi-rigid orthotic arch support that form-fits to your arches for support and pain relief exactly where you need it, whenever you want it.
I love these. My arches are constantly taking a pounding, and insoles, they don't work. But with Arch Relief, I feel a huge difference. It fits perfectly right where there's pressure on my feet.
So thin, so comfortable that it fits in any shoe. For plantar fasciitis, fallen arches, flat feet, Arch Relief stays with you whenever you need it. And where shoe orthotics stop, Arch Relief keeps working to support and relieve foot pain, even barefoot.
It's arch support without the shoe. You don't need the shoe.
Dress shoes, tennis shoes, loafers, sandals, doesn't matter what you're wearing. This fits your foot fits your shoes. That's it.
The revolutionary Copperfit Arch Relief Plus, the fast, easy way to get foot relief, guaranteed or your money back. Order now at archreliefplus.com in your choice of black or nude color for only $19.99. Or call 1-800-261-5640. Order right now and your shipping is free.
This literally changes everything.
If you're always on your feet, this is what you need.
Arch support that's always with your arches. Brilliant.
Arch support where you need it, on your feet. The original Arch Relief Plus, only from Copperfit.
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick and play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
Hundreds of thousands of people in New Jersey face hunger.
Now, more than ever.
Together with our 800-plus agency partners.
Now, more than ever.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is fighting hunger.
Now, more than ever.
This holiday season, in a time when the need is so great, you can help our hungry neighbors by going to cfbnj.org.
This is no ordinary QR code. It unlocks your access to the Yes app, the app that streams live Nets games anytime, anywhere. The app that gives you a fun second screen experience with features like Watch Party, live stats, plus free pick and play games where you can win cash prizes. Stream live games, watch with friends, win big money. Yep, all that by scanning this one QR code. Download the Yes app now. It's more than just a game.
Get your weekly roundup of everything Pinstripes on Yankees Magazine.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
New episodes every Wednesday on Yes and the Yes app.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. 20th anniversary. You know what I like? You know, we're going to have an off-the-air Trost.
Yes.
At 7 o'clock. It's going to be great, but I see a lot of people are getting lubed up already.
Yeah.
Excuse me? A lot of people are drinking.
Oh, that's what you
Yeah.
mean. Okay.
Look like something that's going to really send you 3 sheets to the wind in a hurry, so the crowd's going to be fine.
Pace yourself. We got 4 hours left, guys.
Also, everybody on our staff, they're drinking. Where's our drinks?
Well, you can't drink on the air.
I don't think that's a rule.
It is a rule.
I don't know if it's a law, but it's a rule.
No, just as long as you drink to the sponsor.
That's right. That's the ultimate rule.
I want to Tullamore Dew right now.
There you go.
Well, you let it into. It's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And there's just one game today locally. The Knicks against the Golden State Warriors. Now, if you want to hear it, you can hear it right here at 9:30 pregame. 10 o'clock is the tip as the Knicks try to go 3-0 on this 5-game trip. So that's the only game. The Nets are off. By the way, Kyrie's back on Sunday.
Kyrie's back
That's
on
right.
Sunday, and that was a big win over my Trailblazers last night.
Huge win. Now, you're going to tell everybody why the Trailblazers are your team?
No.
No. And you called a great game, Rangers Kraken.
Yeah, it didn't go
How
well
did you
for the
make it
Rangers.
back from Seattle?
I know. Listen, I'm exhausted.
You must
and I got to
be.
go back out to San Jose right after this.
Oh, my.
That's how much I love you guys. No, the Rangers tied it late on a Trocheck goal on the power play, and then they lost in overtime. Just the Kraken's second ever win in overtime in franchise history. But they got to play better 5-on-5. Not good.
Not good.
Got to play better.
Oh, by the way, you lost an ice pick yesterday.
I did lose an ice pick, although Toronto did score late to force overtime. But the Devils have now won 11 straight. That guy's excited over there, 11 in a row.
Yeah, old Don would have been excited.
Old Don
Do you
would be
know,
very, very excited.
it's since I wore the Devils jersey.
They really, they have not lost.
They have not lost since I wore that jersey.
Is that
in the
true?
Air. Yeah.
But
yeah.
the Rangers have lost since he wore the Kreider pullover.
You know what? I'm going to wear the what's the guy the jersey I have with the name I used to like that he's gone now?
Oh, Shattenkirk.
Shattenkirk. I'm going to put a Shattenkirk on this week.
You know what?
You know what? Put it on Wednesday because the Rangers will be playing the Ducks.
Done.
Wednesday. So,
Done.
yeah.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Right before Thanksgiving.
That's Game Time, brought to you by
I'll be out
Tullamore
there, too.
Irish Whiskey. During the big games this season, enjoy a Tullamore, the original triple blended, triple distilled, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Remember, when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy responsibly. I don't know if anybody heard, but after we got off the air last night, I'd say at about 7:50, Aaron Judge was named MVP.
That's right. I saw it.
And only two people voted against him, right?
Yeah.
So only 2 Ohtanis?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought there'd be more, honestly.
But, you know, to me, it was so clear-cut.
I agree.
It really was. I mean, the guy played on a team that won 99 games, won the division. The other guy played on a team that was 16 games under 500, and they finished third. Not good at all. So, listen, I think Ohtani's great. And I think Ohtani, by the way, I'll make a bold prediction for everybody here. Ohtani next year will either be a Met or a Yankee.
Wow.
Wow.
That's coming in hot.
Not 23, 24.
Okay. Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because they're not going to trade him. He'll be a free agent at the end of 23.
Well, why wouldn't they trade him
He doesn't- because
at the
they're-
end of 23, like at the trading deadline?
I guess they could do that, but they're being sold, the Angels. So who knows? The next owner might say, "I want Ohtani. I'm going to try to sign him."
Let's hash this out. If the Yankees re-sign Judge,
Right.
is there money for Ohtani?
There's money. They'll get rid of me. That'll clear some space.
There you go. You don't count towards the
Salary
luxury
threshold.
tax.
No, I don't.
You're not part of the salary threshold because if you were, Michael, there'd be a lot of trouble. You're making tons of cash.
Absolutely.
Now the Mets, I guess it doesn't matter to worry about those things because we'll see if they have a budget. But so where would you put the odds at, Mets or Yankees?
Well, he does like Billy Epler a lot.
Okay.
And the Yankees really made a strong push for him when he was a free agent who wanted to play on the West Coast. But I think he realizes that if he brings his star to New York, it will be out of control how big he'd be. I mean, just imagine how big Ohtani is now, and then consider how he'd be in the media capital of the world.
It would be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be crazy town.
You know, it's because we do live in this era now where it really shouldn't matter. Now, could Ichiro have been bigger had he been a Yankee earlier in his career? Because,
Sure.
listen, everybody knows Ichiro, and he played in Seattle.
Yep, I think
now,
he would
they
have been
did
bigger.
win, though, so they were playing in the postseason. See that to me is what kills the situation with the Angels, is that they don't go to the playoffs.
Yep.
If the Angels were good, if the Angels were consistently good, like they were under Mike Scioscia in the early 2000s, then I think Trout and Ohtani would be more recognizable. And so it's a combination of they play out in Anaheim where their games are at 10:30 every night, but more so it's that they never go to the playoffs. They never do anything. Seattle went to the playoffs with Ichiro, so everybody knew Ichiro. Now Matsui, being a Yankee, he became huge. If Matsui was a Brewer, maybe Matsui wouldn't have as much cachet. But I think it really just kills that the Angels don't win. But yeah, New York, it would be amazing.
And I think Ohtani said it this year. He said, I really want to win, because he's showcasing this amazing talent. He's not able to showcase it on the biggest stage, which would be the postseason. I think the same thing with Mike Trout. Mike Trout playing for the Angels right now is like, I used to say this about A-Rod playing in Texas. It's like hanging the Mona Lisa in a garage. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I get a little giddy about the idea of it. You know, I'm an Ohtani fan.
Have been for years.
You have a jersey.
You know what? It's one of the few jerseys I got that I stand by to this day. Like, I used to have some football jerseys that no human being should have owned. I didn't need to have a Jamal Anderson Falcons jersey. Fine player, but didn't need it.
What was that dance he did?
The Dirty Bird.
The Dirty Bird.
Yeah. Ohtani, though, man, he is a lot of fun. To me, he is one of the only pieces. I'm not saying he could replace Judge, because I honestly don't think anyone's as good as Judge. But I do think he's someone that over time, if it happened, people could end up living with it.
Now, Judge, I've been saying, he is not leaking stuff to the media. Neither is his agent. His agent has Aaron Judge. His name is Paige Odell, and he's had him since college. He could have gone to a bigger agency. He's staying with this guy. Shows you he's loyal. He's not leaking anything. Aaron's not leaking anything. But trying to put the pieces together, whether or not he'll come back to the Yankees. He said yesterday when he won the award on MLB Network, I want to get this done quickly because I want to give the team that signs me the ability to put a team around me. I think the best chance of getting done quickly is something. Brian Cashman said yesterday they've already made him another offer. So if he wants to get done quickly, that helps the Yankees. And I think that probably leans a little bit toward him coming back to the Yankees, although I wouldn't bet the farm on it.
But it's interesting because when you say that it'll give the team time to build around me, doesn't that suggest going someplace else?
Well, the Yankees need some additions.
I know, but when you say build around me,
I was paraphrasing.
Okay.
He said get the right pieces there.
Okay, because that could include the Yankees too. Because again, the Giants seem to be the rumored team. Just came off a 500 season. A lot of players getting older for them. They really need to. But just Judge dropping into San Francisco, even though they won 107 games 2 years ago. It's a lot different, the team now. They've lost a lot in free agency. Gosman's gone. Their staff isn't the same as it was. Belt's getting older. Crawford's getting older. That just dropping Judge into San Francisco does not mean they'll be able to compete with the Padres and the Dodgers.
Right.
They're going to have to do some other things to make that happen. So when you said it the way you said it, my mind kind of wandered to maybe going to a team that's got to do a lot more than the Yankees would have to.
The Giants also supposedly in play for one of the shortstops, and then they would ask that player if they signed him to maybe play second base because Brandon Crawford has one more year left on his contract. So a lot of things going on. The Yankees did make a signing today. They did sign Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to a one-year, $6 million contract. Wow.
Well, right there, Michael.
It's not what you want.
Right there.
I mean, really.
If Kiner-Falefa happened to turn on the radio just then, I feel bad for him and I apologize.
You hope he didn't get the news and go, I want to celebrate. I wonder what they're saying on talk radio.
I just got a contract extension. Oh, no, they're booing me.
Well, I mean, he has 1 year left. So this is his year, and he signed rather than going to arbitration. So he got a $6 million deal.
I got it, but the fans don't like it.
I don't know.
They don't like him?
Why?
I don't ask him. Go out in the crowd.
Why don't you like the guy? He wasn't the reason. They won 99 games with him at shortstop.
99, baby.
Now,
because he seems like...
He's a really good guy who loves being a Yankee.
But can I defend the fans that boo?
Of course
because
you
there
can.
are guys. They paid to see us. I love these people. I love these people.
That's right. As a wise man once said.
It's a home run hitters league. He's a punch and Judy guy, and I think he's overrated defensively. And they didn't get some of the big name shortstops. They didn't get Story. They didn't get Correa. So it did seem like I don't mean to speak for you guys, but it does feel like you were sold a bill of goods that he was better than he actually was, and he didn't live up to those expectations. Good player, nice player, but I don't think he lived up to the billing that Brian told us when they got him.
That young man there with the hat, you have a hat on?
There's a lot of people with hats.
Come on up. He's got a shirt on that Peter, you die for.
And look at the forehead.
Just come up on stage.
Oh, right on stage.
Look at you. Let's see.
Look at this.
Yeah.
A Don LaGreca t-shirt.
And I signed the forehead.
That is beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's a great job.
And his brother. All right, brother, you get up here too. You don't want your brother on TV. Come on.
Are you guys twins?
Yeah, we need him.
Are you twins? No? On TV. What was that?
It's meat.
It's meat. Oh, I thought you were bringing your girlfriend, you said.
She's right there.
Oh, let's see.
Hi, girlfriend. And she's got a sauce jersey.
Girlfriend of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like dating meat? Oh, thumbs up on meat.
So Well, why don't she come up, too?
Yeah, girlfriend.
Because... Let's bring up somebody that actually does have some sauce.
Yeah, we're still waiting on sauce, so.
Now, there's a big night ahead for her.
Why?
Because I'm predicting that tonight's the night that there's going to be a baby in the future, and it's going to happen.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. I had said that.
Yeah.
Because with all the drinking and all the fun, you guys are staying in a hotel, right?
They got a hotel in the city.
So we booked the hotel. They didn't give us 2 queens. It's 1 king.
Oh, no. Well, hold on, Don. I don't think it's happening tonight. It's not happening tonight.
I'm telling you why it's happening tonight. Because he's going to go to bed with this shirt on. What an aphrodisiac that is.
Hey, listen, I can tell you some stories on how Michael helped through some people down the road. So who's the brother that's not with her? Yeah, you got to sleep. Go find something, man. Give this guy his time. I don't want to be wrong.
No, he shouldn't be wrong.
We all live together.
You all live together?
Really? Well, there's probably stuff going on anyway.
Is this wait, what?
Just fight through it.
What do the kids call it? Is this a throuple?
No, but with brother, I don't know. I'm not doing anything with my brother. I'll tell you that. So listen, I just have Don be the middle name. It's going to happen tonight. Good luck. Have fun.
Do you have tips? Do you have any tips for us?
About what?
No, I think you should know how to do this.
Listen. Yeah, you believe me.
Have a great time, guys.
If you need tips, then you know what? She needs to go find somebody else.
Oh.
Well, listen. With Meat, it's not just a sexy name. You know what I mean?
No, Meat.
He brings it.
Because I keep thinking Porky's. That was his nickname, Meat.
Right. Now, because we're waiting on sauce.
Yeah. But this is where you like this, right? This is fun.
All right, so on a level of 1 to 10, 10 being an inability to walk, how drunk are we right now? 5?
Oh, that's light. It's early, man.
We got kids in the audience. They got
a young lady there in the second deck. She was doing the Kirk Cousins. Did you see that? Yeah.
Do it again. I want to see.
Yeah, that right there. There's.
All
there
right.
you go.
A whole family of Gardner children are here?
No, that's Pete Doherty's kids.
Wow, Pete's kids brought it.
Yeah, Pete's kids brought it.
Very impressive. Look at that. Now, do you guys have your picks ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Well, you go first because.
Well, don't we need our theme song?
Well, you want to do the picks right now?
I think we should.
Oh, no. Wow.
All right, so Peter behind the 8 ball because he foolishly took the Packers because of his buddy.
I do it again.
Yeah, you do it again?
I do it again.
3 points in the hole. Now you've got a 2-point pick and a 1-point pick to make, so go.
Pick them. I will pick them. Here's who I'm going to pick. It's a team that many of you are familiar with. It is the New York Football Jets that I will be picking. Don, I love the hook. I love the hook. In fact, I love the Jets to win outright. It'll be my 1-point play. Of course, I only have my 2-point, my 1 point left because I lost last night. My 2-point play, I already telegraphed it for you guys. I'm sorry. I don't believe they're going to get trapped. I believe they're still going to be motivated. I am going to rock with my Washington Commanders to lay the 3 in Houston and keep this thing going. Don't you guys fantasize about a world in a few weeks where the Commanders win a couple more and the Giants lose a couple and they're like a game apart when they play? So that's it. I have my 1 point on the Jets and my 2 point on the Commanders.
So do I go next or do you go next?
You were both so bad last week. It's hard to say.
No, you go because I only had 2 points.
Yeah. All right. My 1 point play, because they're a turnover machine, and I still think there's something going on with the Rams that still could bubble up and be good. I think they go to New Orleans. They're getting 3. So I love the Rams to win the game outright, cover the number in New Orleans. 2-3 win team.
You know Cooper Kupp's not playing?
I don't care.
Awful
The
pick.
Saints hand the ball. Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's my 1 point play.
All right.
Get over it. My 2 point play, I'm riding with Peter. The Jets are the better team. They're going to win in Foxborough with the regular season for the first time since 2008. They're going to win the game outright. Don't give me the whole Bill Belichick against young quarterbacks. That was on the kid. He'll bounce back. He'll be better. And they'll find a way to be able to run the ball. They'll get it done. This defense is not going to be beaten by Mac Jones. I love the Jets as my 2 point play. I also love a big bounce back. They've been brutal in the last 2 games. The Bills cover the 8 in Detroit against the Browns. They're not losing 3 in a row.
I like
Bills
this pick.
are not losing 3 in a row.
I like this
And
pick.
I think they will cover the 8 as my 3-point play. So I like the Rams getting 3 as my 1. I like the Jets covering, winning the game outright as my 2-point play. And I love the Bills to cover the 8 in Detroit as my 3-point play.
All right, I've got Mr. Bruni's picks first.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Bruni likes the Eagles -7.
Thought about that.
He likes the Lions +3.
Thought about that.
And he likes the Ravens -13. And I like that too. It was a little much. It was a lot of points.
A lot of points.
All right, so I had my 1-point pick yesterday, so now I've got to give you a 2-point and a 3-pointer. I'm going to take a gamble here. My 2-point play is going to be the Bears against the Falcons. Falcons are 3-point underdog, 3-point favorites, and the Bears can score. The Bears can score, and the only thing the Bears can't do is play defense. Falcons don't score anyway, so I'm not worried about them with defense. The Bears are my 2-point pick. You're shaking your head? You don't like it?
Because it's just another repugnant game that you pick.
It's so weird, the choices you make.
Now I'm going to pick a bounce back here. Everybody believes in Jeff Saturday. He's a great guy. I love him too, but they beat the Raiders last week. They beat the Raiders.
And it wasn't easy.
No, and the Eagles, they lost to the Commies, but it's a short week. That concerns me a little bit. It's a 7-point spread. Give me the Eagles for my 3-point play.
Wow, 3-pointer.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
By the way, I thought about it.
You thought about it.
I liked it.
I thought about the Colts, honestly.
That's Bear the dog. Bear's pick. Listen, Bear has been really, really excited by what the Vikings are doing.
Right.
And loves them to keep rolling with Kirk Cousins back at home. So he's taking the Vikings, who are getting 1.5 points at home, versus the Cowboys.
Doesn't that scare a Bear?
Why?
I mean, the Vikings are 8-1, and they're underdogs at home.
Like, what does Vegas know?
What does Vegas know? And the Cowboys just lost to Green Bay, and Green Bay just laid an egg for you last night.
I just said what you said to Bear. And he said, I don't care about the prognosticators. You know how I get down. I'm going with the Vikings.
It doesn't matter. He's got nothing on the line anyway. He's not going to get dunked. Right?
Bear
What
won't
does he
go
care?
no, you're right. He's
Mr.
not.
Bruni, same thing. He's not getting dunked.
Another game I loved. Couldn't squeeze it in because I had a win yesterday.
many winners, yeah.
I love the Broncos over the Raiders.
It's not bad.
Not a bad
the Raiders may be in full-on, they just get blown out every week, tailspin.
The only thing that scares me is the Broncos don't score enough points. For 2.5, that's a small line, but if they win, they might win by 2.
AOC.
Don, you know the hook.
I know the hook.
Love the hook.
The hook doesn't help.
I didn't want to touch that game. Everybody got a vote of confidence in Vegas. Does that spur them on? And I'm not betting anything on the Broncos anymore. I'm done with them.
You're done.
Why? Well, and plus, I don't want to have to even glance at that game. I don't want to glance at it.
All right, so Anthony Greek, who I think our producer on the S side might have a little bit of a gambling problem. He gives me numbers that are amazing. Jared Goff, 110-1, straight up on the road his last 12 starts. And the Giants home under 16-1, last 17 games.
We might find out who Michael's source is.
Ooh.
Might be Greek.
It's not Greek. First of all, I'm not in first place.
That you're doing that early to make it look real late in the season.
Oh, I'm very clever.
Oh, you're very
That's how I lasted 20 years on New York radio.
That's exactly right.
Very
it wasn't
clever.
your good looks.
Or my voice.
Or your talent.
Nothing. I have none of it. The Michael K. Show 20th anniversary show on 98.7 ESPN is brought to you by the MoheganSunCasino.com app. Where do you play Mohegan? Must be 21 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. I think we have a big guest coming up, so you'll find out when he comes out. But I gotta ask because it matters to us. You guys having a good time?
And now, honest question though. Are you more excited for right now or for 7 to 9? Yeah, it's the 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're here early.
We're
for
working
7.
blue.
Oh, you see this? Settle the squall.
All right, so we've had some big guests here, but I mean, how many people, you've not, in your whole life, Don, what are you, 59?
54.
You've never been perfect in any one day, right?
Never.
Peter, you've never been perfect.
Oh, God, no.
We had a guy who was perfect one day. He's going to join us in just a moment right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Hey, big man. Hey. Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
It's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just going to keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
Greatness can't be bought. Greatness must be earned, self-created, and self-defined. Not something you're born with, but something you become, something you reveal, something you set free. Greatness frustrates, it motivates. Greatness intimidates and inspires. But most of all, greatness wins.
Some say this game is just putting the ball in a basket over and over and over. Nonsense. This game is hard. On and off the court. Give me the early morning practices, the pressure, the pain, and the noise. You want easy? Go take a walk. I'll take the unpredictable hard way every single time.
It's a season for the ages.
What a year. Just a magical season.
Done it again. A walk-off by Aaron Judge. Drove deep to left field. Number 60. Number 61. 62. He's done it. He has done it.
When I was flying, I used to love sitting on the rim. It's that wind in your face experience. And being on the recumbent kind of brought that back. RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. I'm not sure I would still be here if I didn't find the Friends and Wounded Warrior project that I did. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. I got on the bike and I tried it out. It felt a lot like flight, and I felt like I got a piece of me back. In that moment, I was like, this is it. I'm unstoppable. You know, I can do anything. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know it's there.
With a bittersweet loss in last year's finals, the Nets went out and signed two key pieces to their championship puzzle. Now the defending Eastern Conference champions are looking forward to starting their long quest back to the NBA Finals. Tonight it's the opener. The Nets take on the Hawks. Next on Yes. It's Nets basketball on Yes. Yes, it was a magical season last year, but it's time to turn the page. The season opens anew. Hawks and Nets from the Meadowlands.
The challenges our planet's animals are facing sometimes feel a bit heavy.
The animals haven't eaten in a day, 2 days. They haven't drank anything. They're cold. They're dehydrated.
As soon as we started our descent, everywhere I could see was mud. Just absolutely mud.
The country has been prolonged for drought for so long. It was like a tinderbox waiting to go up.
Okay, very heavy. Each of us wants to be part of the solution, and we can be. Remember that there's good happening right now. At home.
All right, we were able to get into your unit, and we have all 4 of your cats. So,
okay. And around the world. For any animal in any disaster. So let's focus on that, right? Be part of the solution, one rescue at a time. Search IFA.org/disaster ready.
Schwartz drilled deep to left field. Going back, Joyce, looking up. See ya! 3,000! History with an exclamation point! Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club! Derek Jeter has done it in grand style!
Hey everyone, I'm Ali Melendez. Join me for a brand new series, Well Life NYC, exclusively on the Yes app. We're taking a wellness journey to explore what New Yorkers are doing to be their happiest and healthiest selves. From workout classes, I feel good, I feel set up for success, to relaxation, to finding the proper balance. So fresh. Let's get well, New York. I am so excited to get into this. Let's do it. Woo! Stream new episodes of Well Life NYC now on the Yes app.
Get trending with off-field fashion as designers from FIT style celebrities from the sports world and beyond. Off-field fashion, exclusively on the Yes app.
Is that a remix? Sounds different. The remix.
Tiger Watch about a completely melted down for the weekend. Shit still overcame it, still finished. Who cares? See, this is the garbage that I go through, right? In humans, it's unhealthy and it's sick. Tiger, who basically soiled himself.
I can't start talking because I want to keep hearing. I want to hear it. It's so good.
Well, that is a remix of Don saying, what was this argument about, Don?
Just how everybody loves Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah, you hate him.
The Trey
You hate golf,
Wingos,
yeah.
the Mike Greenbergs of the world, like everything he does, they're giddy little schoolgirls. And I said they would sniff him dead.
Right.
No one understands what it means, but
it sounded good. Anyway,
our next guest does.
Our next guest, to me, he should be considered for the Hall of Fame.
Should be.
4 World Series championships, 1 perfect game, a great team leader. I love working with him in the Yes booth. You could hear him on Sunday Night Baseball as well. As great a baseball player as he is, I'm telling you, he's a better guy. David Cone.
Yes. 20 games with the Mets, too. Don't forget that.
Why would you bring up the Mets, Don? He had all his glory with the Yankees. Why the Mets?
Because he had a tremendous amount of glory with the Mets.
But no bling.
Well, I understand that.
It still counts.
Still counts. I'm sure he's very proud of the 20-win season that he had. Very proud of the effort that he had in Game 6 in Los Angeles against the Dodgers in '88. Wasn't his fault they lost Game 7.
Do you get love from Mets fans still?
I went to Old Timers Day at Citi Field this year. So it was actually really well done. There's a whole new sheriff in town over there, obviously ownership all the way down. The great Jay Horowitz, now running the alumni company or the alumni association over there with all the ex-Mets. And it was great. It was great to go back. 1988, I still think about that. I still think about the blown opportunity that we had, with the Mets at 88. So, yeah, that still stings.
And by the way, I keep saying 4 championships. He also won one with the Blue Jays, so 5. He's got a whole ring, a handful of rings. No surprise with Judge winning the MVP. Were you surprised that he got 28 first-place votes?
No, I mean, when you look at the breakdown of the votes, there's 30 votes, and the 2 L.A. writers, or the two people responsible that covered that team, voted for Ohtani. I can understand that. I mean, if you factor in the degree of difficulty of having to pitch and hit, then you could say, he's the 8th wonder of the world. Ohtani's amazing, but as far as outright production, the guy who did the most for his team, it has to be Aaron Judge. He had a historic season offensively.
And again, the Angels finished 16 games above 500, under 500, and the Yankees won 99 games and won their division going away. I mean, to me, that's what really gets it done.
That's the nail on the head, because the rest of the offense really face-planted down the second half. If you look at the offensive numbers other than Aaron Judge in the second half, the entire second half of the season, it was a complete face-plant. It was under 230 in their batting average. Their on-base percentage was below 290. So Aaron Judge literally carried them to the end.
Now, obviously, I said this earlier, Aaron Judge and his people, they don't leak things. So what's your gut feeling where he ends up?
My gut feeling is that he loves being a Yankee, that it was really smart that they signed Anthony Rizzo to come back. They're very close. You and I know this. Rizzo's a great guy in that clubhouse. My sense is that he understands that he's got a chance to go right into Monument Park and get a C on his jersey. And that means something, And I spoke from experience in that, when I was on the Mets for 6 years, the best day of my career is when I got to come back to New York. I missed it. You will miss New York if you leave it. The grass is always greener. You can think about it. You can talk about money or offers, but playing for New York and that passion and the rush you get is like nothing else.
But you still take a chance when you test free agency, though, right?
You know, you do take a chance, and he deserves it. This is his one shot at 30 years old. This is his one shot to maximize his value. This goes back to Marvin Miller, the Players Association. The only time you can find your true value is in a free market and have other teams tell you what they think. But at the end of the day, I still believe he understands how important it is to be the captain of the Yankees, and that's what he's staring at.
All right, so I saw a story today, and I said, I've got to ask David when he comes on the show. So the new owner of the Royals is trying to build a new stadium, and Kauffman Stadium is gorgeous, but it's the 6th oldest stadium in baseball. Were you surprised to see that?
No, they've been talking about that for a long time in Kansas City, in the downtown area, trying to build up the area in downtown. They have a new convention center down there, a whole gas lamp district that they're, restaurants and bars. And so they're trying to get sort of that, come early, stay late kind of feel. Whereas where Royal Stadium is now, it's kind of out in the middle off of the freeway. And there's nothing out there other than the stadiums. It's Arrowhead's great for football, and the Royal Stadium's right next door, but there's nothing to bring people out early and stay late. There's no infrastructure around it.
I've never been there, but my understanding is it's a lot like the Meadowlands. I think it had the same architect, right? So isn't it like out of just it serves its own purpose? It just has the stadium as in a parking lot, right?
Yes, it really is. I mean, both of those stadiums were built for about $50 million back in the 70s. Both of them.
Wow.
You think about it, they were paid off in full. They've had renovations done since then, taken on some debt, but without a doubt, they're gorgeous stadiums. There's not enough infrastructure around that a lot of ownership seek nowadays. If you look around Fenway Park, what's going on around there, that's kind of the model where you can build a little city around and really own that real estate and build infrastructure.
And we saw that in Texas. They have that. In St. Louis, it's unbelievable. They just want to build these little cities around the team.
Exactly. You have your own little village, and fans, they come hours before the game, and they stay hours after the game. And the ownership, that's the mecca. That's what everybody wants if you're an owner.
All right. So a couple of days ago, Buck won the Manager of the Year, and it's the 4th time he's won. You played for Buck when you got traded to the Yankees. What makes him a good manager?
Well, I think just how seriously he takes it, how passionate he is. I mean, he leaves no stone unturned. I mean, almost obsessively so. And you and I know him very well, but if you sit down and talk to him 5 minutes in his manager's office, there's 10 things that he'll talk about manager that you never even thought about. And that's the way he thinks. He's one of those obsessive personalities that will not miss anything and is just completely in love with the game, in love with the culture that he's trying to build there. And he's got a great opportunity there to kind of build this his way. Because, when you're the manager of the year, you bought some time with the Mets, and you got great resources now with the ownership there.
How different is he now than he was when you first met him in '95?
Much different. He's much more, he's become looser, like, with age, everything. He's learned along the way. He understands kind of the art of passive-aggressive, so to speak. He knows how to put it back on the players as opposed to sort of being a general or a dictator in terms of do it my way or the highway. He's learned how to kind of finesse his way through the clubhouse and put the onus right back on the players and let them know what they look like.
What was it like? Because you were a player who liked to have fun when you weren't playing. When you showed up in 1995, and that was the little general Buck Showalter, did you guys mesh?
I don't think he knew what to make of me, to tell you the truth. When I showed up in '95, there were some funny meetings. He had early meetings going and chalkboards, and it was like Vince Lombardi, doing a meeting back in the days of the Packers. And I told Buck, I said, it's just too much. Too much information can jam me up. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pitch to my strengths. I trust my catcher to know what the weaknesses is on the hitters, but I can't do meetings 3 hours before the games. And a lot of guys, I think that's what you've understood now, that little bits and pieces of information are more important than 3 hours before the game having big meetings and jamming them up with so much
information.
And he
respected that?
I think he did, and I think he's learned, and I think he's really evolved as a manager in that regard, especially.
I was going to say, do you believe it when we talked to Buck, we asked him, what he thought of the Timmy Trumpet thing. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I like it. Sure, it's fun if they have fun, blah, blah. Do you buy it? Like, do you think he really feels that way? Or he's just kind of, I'm going to adapt and say the right things?
Yeah, I think he's had to adapt. Yeah, I think there's a certain part of Buck that's still very old school in that regard. And he doesn't like all the nonsense or all the external stuff that can be distracting. But he gets it. He understands that this generation of players kind of govern themselves, and that's the way it's always been. The players govern themselves, and they kind of dictate how they're going to go about it. And if they're okay with it, with bat flips or celebrations or whatnot, if this is a new generation, then that's fine. As long as everybody's okay with it, then he'll adapt, and that's kind of what he's done. But you get, it's a great point. You get the feeling that deep down that he's still a little bit old school.
All right, so the word out there is that Justin Verlander wants the same amount of money per year as Max Scherzer, and he wants a 3-year contract. He's 40.
Yes.
Is that a reasonable deal?
Well, if anybody deserves to be at the top of the pay scale, it's Justin Verlander. He's coming off the Cy Young Award, so it was a little different with Scherzer. I think the Mets felt like they had to overpay a little bit to get him to take that deal to come to Queens. So every deal's a little bit different, but Verlander's well within his rights to at least ask to be at the top of the pay scale. He made. We're talking multi-millions, so it's about free markets. It's about what guys are worth. He made $25 million last year. It's an enormous amount of money, but it's nowhere near the top of the pay scale, and he deserves to be at or near the top.
And I get pitching's important, David, but you're talking about 32 starts. You're talking about managers that can't wait to get to the bullpen. So why are these pitchers worth much more than everyday players that can affect things for 145 games as opposed to 32 and not even the entire game?
Right. I think there are very few blue chip players, both position players and pitchers, and I think Verlander's one of those guys who's a blue chip guy. That's the model that Dave Dombrowski used in Philly. I want blue chip guys. I want Harper. I want Wheeler. I want the guys that are really top notch. Realmuto, the catcher. So Verlander's in that category. Those blue chip players that are a cut above do special things in big games. That's the philosophy. So I think that's why you could say that they're worth it. Starting pitching still is very important. We saw that in postseason. The starting pitching that was great. Houston's starting pitching took them all the way through, even though they're not throwing 9 innings anymore. 6 or 7 innings on average is still very important because the bullpens get used so much nowadays that if you have a starter that can do that, you can take some of the pressure off of the other days.
I remember when you signed your big contract with Ewing Kauffman and the Royals, you look back at guys like Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax, and they probably thought, gee, I wish I was, that. Now that you see $43.5 million, do you wish you were younger?
No, I do not. I will never do that. I was on the right side of the rope. Every generation can say that. Even back to the 80s, I remember Gary Carter was making $2 million a year in 1988 to catch for the Mets, and we thought, oh my God, $2 million a year. Well, it wasn't maybe 5 or 6 years after that where the pay scale jumped up to $6, $7, $8 million a year on the top end and just continued to go up. A lot of it was cable television. A lot of it was George Steinbrenner in the original MSG deal. A lot of it was Fox when they got the Game of the Week on Saturday from NBC, who had it for 30 years. The television money that came pouring into the game. I was on the right side. I have no complaints. Every generation can say that, but you'll never get me complaining.
Now, you weren't on the 86 Mets, but you came over in 87, so a lot of the craziness, I'm sure, spilled over to those years. How nuts were the Mets in the late 80s?
I can't tell you what it was like at the end of March in 1987 to walk into that clubhouse, the next spring after 86, and to just look around, it was like the guys were beat up. They'd really been through the ringer after the 86 Mets and the way they partied, the way they went after it. They played hard. They partied hard. I didn't know what I'd gotten myself into in 1987 walking into that clubhouse, but what I did was fall in love with those guys. They were great guys. And, yeah, we had some issues, no doubt, and those guys had some addiction issues, but nonetheless, it's a close-knit group that's still close today.
What a trade, Michael. One of the great trades of all time. Ed Hearn.
Yeah.
Who I liked. He was a nice backup catcher. Backup catcher for David Cone?
And the Mets were asking that, too.
Well, I have a tendency to burn some bridges wherever I go, Michael.
Well, you heard the Keith Hernandez story, right? So they saw him. Can I tell this one?
No.
They saw him throw in spring training, and they're all talking amongst, how did we get this guy? this guy's unbelievable. How do we get? Then they take off for opening day, and David surfs down the plane on like a what was it?
The little plastic cart.
Plastic cart. And then Keith Hernandez goes, "Oh, now I know."
I made it halfway. Halfway down the runway.
Anyway, I think he's far and away the best baseball analyst in the world. And he's a friend that when I picked up the phone, I said, "Can you come here Friday?" He said, "Of course." He's the best. David Cohn, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Wow, you hear that?
Yeah, I love you.
Congratulations, guys. 20 years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll come back. More to come. We have a big ENN as well, waiting on Sauce Gardner, who's stuck in traffic, but he will get here right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
We all want to travel safe through New York and New Jersey. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious or dangerous, just call 911. You don't even have to give your name or get involved, but you will be helping to keep our region safe. Let's work together. Visit the Port Authority website to learn more.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide.
It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With
of who he was, then I'd hope he'd fight for it. But that wasn't the case.
But that's why I think him touring with us is on the table. Like, I don't think he's anti-Semitic, but I think he does like the controversy of retweeting that, the Alex Jones stuff. It gets conversation going. And
Gets the people going.
And then he's got to come up with some kind of way of apologizing, but not really apologizing. Then I think after a few days of contemplation, and really made it end up being a couple of weeks after it was all said and done, was it really worth it? But I do think his knee-jerk reaction is to mess with us. And this time it went a little too far.
Well, Michael, you mentioned it earlier. Giants rookie wide receiver, someone who they don't have a lot of talent on that side of the ball that actually looked pretty good. Wan'Dale Robinson suffered a season-ending ACL injury, according to head coach Brian Daboll.
And was having a great game.
Was having a great game, and obviously they need all the help they can get, especially with a short turnaround. Heading to Dallas on Thanksgiving, here's Daboll on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to come in tomorrow and get ready for Dallas. That's all we can do. We got to put this one in the rear view pretty quickly. Been part of the Thanksgiving games, or obviously Thursday games for a while here. That's what you got to do. Put it to bed and get ready to play Dallas.
By the way, one of the nicest things, a real surprise, the 20th anniversary was the recorded message by John Mara. That was nice.
That was very nice.
That was very nice.
What would Daddy LaGreca think of that?
He'd be very impressed by
Yeah.
it.
I liked the...
I don't think he'd enjoy me dancing with the Ram, but I think that would have made up for it.
I like the Costas clip as well.
Yeah.
During the after hours.
That was also impressive.
Very, very nice.
It was a great night.
Trying to decide who my MVP was. My guest MVP was
Joe Torre was great.
Oh, Joe Torre did bring it.
Yeah, he really brought it. Joe Torre.
I didn't know what speed Joe was still at.
He's at a high speed.
Pitching 93, 94. He could still get up there.
And then Don asked like a probing. I couldn't believe Don did. I looked at him. I said, "This guy's got brass tacks." He said to Joe, "Why didn't you like Michael at the beginning?"
No, I said about why'd you call him
he said,
Rona
why'd
Barrett?
you call... What did he call
Rona
him?
Barrett.
Who's Rona Barrett again?
She was a gossip columnist that was huge back when we were kids.
Okay, got it.
But
she go on TV and.
But Michael has told that story on the air. I figured enough time has passed; it wouldn't be that controversial. I really didn't think I was doing anything big other than trying to get a really fun old time story from Joe Torre.
He gave a great answer.
Yeah,
he said I misjudged him. It was my mistake.
And that made it worth it, right?
Yeah, Joe and I are really close now. I wish we were that close when he got the job. But I think that somebody whispered in his ear, "Watch out for Kay."
Now, who was it, do you think?
I know exactly who it was. He's no longer with us. But watch out for Kay. He's a Showalter guy. Which, I mean, I was close with Showalter, still am. I don't know if you guys know that.
I do.
But he was gone. So, I mean, was I going to bring Buck Showalter back?
You brought him back to the Mets?
I brought him back to New York.
That's right. Kyler Murray out for the Cardinals.
Oh, no. So it's Colt.
How'd you know?
Because I know who the backup quarterback of the Cardinals is. Don't give these jobs to chimps.
He's the best backup quarterback in football history.
He's up there. He's up there.
Wow.
You guys remember his glorious moment?
So Steve Young was not as good as Colt McCoy?
Well, that doesn't count.
Well, he said best backup quarterback in NFL history.
Steve started as a backup behind Joe Montana.
He didn't start. He started with Tampa Bay, came to San Francisco, and was a backup.
Can I rephrase? He is the best backup quarterback that should never be a starting quarterback. Fair?
Well, fair.
Isn't it interesting that line? The line's so blurry. So blurry.
Why are you whispering?
Just thinking so much about this Commanders season and what's happening.
I hope he keeps the team. I hope he loves it so much he keeps the team. I love winning.
I don't think they're related. I don't think it has anything to do.
Do you think he wants to give away a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl?
Well, that's not. Let me
ask you this.
Yeah. What's the ceiling?
The roof.
Oh, no. You asked me to choose Super Bowl or...
No. Because, you take the Super Bowl. Because
No, I wouldn't.
No, here's the would you game. If you had to keep Dan Snyder as the owner in order to win the Super Bowl this year, would you do it?
No.
Okay.
You're a liar.
Why do you ask me the question?
Because I want to see if you would lie.
Because I wasn't going to go as far as Super Bowl, because I'm with Michael. I thought that you would take the Super Bowl, because I thought the whole reason you hate Dan now is that he's stopping you from winning a Super Bowl.
No, there's so many other things.
All right, so...
I take Dan leaving.
They have to lose the rest of the games. He's gone.
And every pick you make of them is a loss.
Or you win the Super Bowl and he's got to stay.
I'll take the losses and he's gone. This has to end. You guys don't understand.
But a Super Bowl.
I know.
You're first since 92.
30
years.
A journalist in D.C. posted this exact question.
Okay.
As a poll on Twitter to his audience and thousands voted. Overwhelmingly, they'd rather have Snyder gone than a Super Bowl. Isn't that crazy?
I don't believe in Twitter polls. I saw one this weekend that seemed a little sketchy.
Do tell.
A lot of bots out there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Was there some purge? I lost like 1,000.
Oh, there was a purge?
Oh, there's some purges going on. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm good.
Jeff Passan has announced that he will be breaking news on Instagram now because of the instability of Twitter.
I love it. I want off. I'm so close. I'm so close to deactivating.
What? I'm going to get, for Christmas, I'm going to get you some kind of connection with Truth Social. I think you should be on that.
Yeah, an account?
Yeah.
Give me a free. That would be a great gift.
No, I'll pay for it.
Oh, you would?
Oh, sure.
You got to pay for
to see you on Truth Social.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
There's not enough money to make me stop.
All right, let's hear a couple of fun moments from yesterday's games. This one, not so fun for Jets fans, but on 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston, they certainly enjoyed the end of the Jets-Pats game.
Marcus Jones returning for the Pats despite an earlier ankle injury. He waits on the right hash mark of the 25. The snap, waist high, pressure-free punt, and it's a good one, forcing Jones to backpedal right side at the 16. Stabbed left, ran it right down the sideline to the 40, to the 50, to the left side to the 45, beats the punter to the 35-30. Marcus Jones down the middle of the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown! No flag! Touchdown! Patriots! Way to call timeout! Way to bleed the clock!
Almost made it. He almost made it.
What was Salah's reaction to that? Do you have that?
Yeah, I believe it was.
What the F?
It's just, God.
Do you have Bob's call? Weasel Susan?
Oh, well, let's get that. I'd like to hear that. What's this next one? Next clip here, Anthony? Oh, this is the Davante Adams game winner on ESPN Radio for Las Vegas.
Carr retreats to throw at the 45, under pressure, flings deep, pass caught to the 5, touchdown, Davante Adams. He couldn't have been more wide open. 35 yards, Davante Adams with a walk-off win for Las Vegas here in Denver.
Raiders and Broncos both 3-7.
No more Musburger?
Who would have picked it?
No, that was on ESPN Radio.
That's a national call.
Okay.
I'm sure there's
I think he might be off this year.
I want to hear Bob's call, the punt return.
All right. Where is
Ugly face with fat mustache, Bob?
No, Bob with shoes on.
Oh.
Here it is.
Man takes the snap and gets away a line drive, end-over-end kick, drives Jones back to his own 16-yard line. Returnable. Runs right to the 20, gets up the sideline to the 30, he's to the 40, cuts it back to the 50, he's loose to the 40, at the Jet 30, to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Unbelievable! 5 seconds to go, and the
special teams play that the Patriots take to the house.
You hear that, kids?
Unbelievable.
You hear that? That's called big league.
No, that's
how the big boys call it.
Because the out-of-town call around the NFL would be, oh my God, I can't
That
believe
was an amazing call. You don't realize how great that was.
That was the big boy call.
I think you listen to that. You know what you play in journalism schools? You play that call. You play John Sterling's call when Luis Gonzalez got the base hit to win Game 7 of the 2001 World Series. Those are guys, home team announcers that want their teams to win, but play it right. Play it right, baby.
It's a big moment. You got to call it a
huge
big
moment. That was a great call by Bob.
Yeah, because out of town, it'd be like, we lost again. I can't believe it.
And having a veteran color guy who doesn't jump all over the call at the end, although it wasn't celebratory, so.
But
So
still,
suppose
it
that's
doesn't stop them
But yeah,
from
but
doing
in some towns you hear a guy go, no, no,
oh, no.
no.
Tackle him! Tackle him!
Let's hear.
Oh, come on! Why does God hate us?
Let's hear last one. Play-by-play from 106.5, The Wolf in Kansas City. Travis Kelce's game winner.
Ball is snapped on the near hash. Chiefs load up 3 to the left side. Mahomes crossing pattern. Kelce, 10-yard line, 5-yard line, touchdown! Kansas City! Will Kelce do it to the Chargers again on a crossing pattern?
Hey, at least there was no steppage. That'll do it for ENN on this Monday evening.
Let's take a quick break. Squeeze in a couple of phone calls. Lead you right to a half hour of Darren Grosso before the Knicks pregame. Right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Shop our Thanksgiving weekend sale at untuckit.com today.
Hey, big man. Go ahead. Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
It's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just going to keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
Confidence can take you to new places, where roads become a personal opportunity to experience the beauty of what's ahead, no matter what destination you choose next. Explore confidently in the Genesis GV80. During the Genesis year-end event, receive a $1,000 holiday bonus only at your tri-state Genesis retailer.
News, rumors, innuendo, all rolled into a big tasty burrito.
There are certainly a lot of question marks.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
You know, I'm a free agent. We'll see what happens.
There's no off-season like the baseball off-season.
Watch an all-new episode of Yankees Hot Stove tonight at 7 on Yes and the Yes app.
Imagine a world where no child goes to bed hungry.
We do, every day. It's a beautiful place.
But right now, families are struggling, and too many children don't have enough to eat.
So we're called to help them, to bring them food, resources, and hope.
To support families today so they can build a better tomorrow for their children.
To do this, we connect people like you, who can do so much for the most vulnerable children across this country and around the world.
If we work together and seize this moment, we won't have to just imagine that beautiful place.
We can create a world where no child goes to bed hungry.
Thank you!
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Racing hot rods this year. The Hess truck's here. With wheelie pop in action. sounds, bright lights, drag racing through the night, shifting into high gear. The Hess truck's here.
A flatbed truck with lights, sounds, and 2 racing hot rods. Get it now at HessToyTruck.com with free shipping and batteries.
A tradition each year. The Hess truck's here.
If you were diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call the law firm of Weitz and Luxembourg, who, for the last 30 years, has achieved record-breaking New York City mesothelioma and lung cancer verdicts for thousands of your neighbors and coworkers. It does make a difference which law firm you hire, so choose wisely and call Weitz and Luxembourg today. Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
When it comes to NBA basketball, the action is nonstop next level. And NBA League Pass gives you more. Stream more live games. Get more expert analysis. More camera angles. More classic games. More incredible action. All the way you want it. NBA League Pass. Subscribe today and stream more.
Get trending with Yes's off-field fashion.
Whoa, now that is a fly outfit.
As some of the best designers from the Fashion Institute of Technology.
The speed of that laser was insane.
Get the opportunity of a lifetime to style celebrities from the sports world and beyond.
For them to totally nail their styles.
Very classic.
Feels perfect. It's like hugging you.
Watch Off-Field Fashion, streaming now, exclusively on the Yes app.
The challenges our planet's animals are facing sometimes feel a bit heavy.
The animals haven't eaten in a day, 2 days. They haven't drank anything. They're cold. They're dehydrated.
As soon as we started our descent, everywhere I could see was mud. Just absolutely mud.
The country has been blown for drought so long. It was like a tinderbox waiting to go up.
Okay, very heavy. Each of us wants to be part of the solution, and we can be. Remember that there's good happening right now. At home.
All right, we were able to get into your unit, and we have all 4 of your cats. So,
okay.
And around the world. For any animal in any disaster. So let's focus on that, right? Be part of the solution, one rescue at a time. Search ifa.org/disaster ready.
A pinch of city celebrities.
Oh, yes.
A dash of saucy stories.
My t-shirt is full of sauce.
An infusion of iconic restaurants.
Here's the magic part.
Bake for 30 minutes and devour Home Plate New York. Stream full episodes with Chef Marcus Samuelson anytime on the Yes app.
Tonight on Yes, immediately following the Michael Kay Show, you can catch an all-new edition of Yankees Hot Stove, get all the latest news and insights on the Major League Baseball offseason. That's an all-new edition of Yankees Hot Stove, tonight, starting right after the Michael Kay Show at 7, right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
According to Ian Rappaport, Fields suffered a left shoulder dislocation, sources say. A painful injury somehow played through on Sunday. So the Bears coach described Fields as day-to-day. His status for this Sunday is still to be determined. You know, he suffered that injury. The next play they called was a quarterback sneak.
Wow.
Just the Bears being the Bears.
Bears. Now, I'm assuming because out for the year is on the table, is it just a question of can he play through the pain or is he going to need surgery? I guess surgery shuts him down. If he can play through the pain, then he doesn't.
He's going to play. If he can play through the pain, it will be surgically repaired after the year.
Right, but I'm saying, you had said earlier that the Eberflus had said that he was either used day to day or he could be out for the year. It's like, well, how can you be, day to day and then be out for the year? Is probably just, all right, give it a try, go practice. If you think you can handle the pain, we'll give you a couple of cortisone shots. They're not going to the playoffs in all likelihood. So all you're doing is, 7 more weeks?
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, the pain might just be excruciating.
Well, that's why I'm out for the year's on the table. And again, if you're not going to the playoffs, then why have him play through the pain? Get the surgery, be better for next year.
And I would think the same thing about Matt Stafford, who got a concussion. Why are you playing him? You're out. You're not going to win. Don't you want to save this guy?
Yeah, and don't they know this year ain't happening for them?
Right, they have to know.
They took the year off. You won. We get it. We get it. You want to celebrate.
God,
Enjoy it.
I guess I don't want to give away top fives, but top 5 worst seasons after a championship.
How about tomorrow or whenever you do next top 5 backup quarterbacks ever?
But it's got to be under the stipulation you would never want them to be a star.
Correct.
That's important because you got Steve Young and
I'll go Steve DeBerg.
You don't want him
taking out?
I don't mind him starting.
You don't want him to start.
Really?
He did start in Kansas City for a long time. How about Jim Harbaugh?
No, he started.
He started. Took the Colts to the championship game. Almost had a Hail Mary go to the Super Bowl.
Sit this one out.
Well, no,
please, you just got yours wrong. I was thinking of him in
listen,
Chicago.
I get the back and forth, and I know it's important to win, but to humiliate a guy.
I forgot about Indy. I thought Chicago.
I just humiliated him?
It was awful.
I just said sit this one out.
Yours was just as bad, but I didn't say sit this one out.
You ask him not to play. Like, if we were playing basketball, be like, oh, I'm not playing. You go sit down.
Right. Well, sit on the side, Sparky.
All-time best beside. That's a good list to come up with.
Jeff Hostetler.
Well, he parlayed that, won a Super Bowl, parlayed into a contract with the Raiders. Wasn't a bad starting quarterback. Jeff Rutledge.
I mean, Earl Morrall was a great backup quarterback. Took 2 teams to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Might be the best one.
And then the Giants made him the starter, and it didn't go well.
I got news for you guys.
What's that?
This may sound really...
You don't know that.
This may sound really shocking coming from me, but, would you really want Doug Williams as a full-time starter?
Yeah, he took a team to the Super Bowl.
First of all, but it wasn't his season. He came in. It was him and James Schrader going back and
He
forth.
took the Bucks to a championship game in '79. Yeah, you know what?
Really, Sparky, sit this one out, all right?
Go look at Doug Williams. Go look at Doug Williams' career stats, okay?
You can't win a Super Bowl, take an expansion team to a championship game, and not be a starting quarterback.
Let's say goodbye to Jesper. We're going to stay around a couple more minutes. Oh, yeah,
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, a brand new edition of Yankees Hot Stove. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
The Michael Kay Show on